busy pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be, I wanna be, I wanna find myself, but again it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself, I've been losing myself.
Welcome to the Blast Pro Series, coming at you live from Miami, Florida. This is the first time the Blast Pro Series has come to the States, and we feel the love for Counter-Strike here now more than ever. Miami has always been the sunny metropolis of America, with over 14 million tourists coming here a year, and all for good reason because of the amazing wildlife, the incredible nightlife, and look at these beaches. I mean, Hello, my name is Adam Savage, and I am your host, serving you the world's biggest, greatest, most impressive dose of Counter-Strike action you've ever seen. Well, at least since our last show. In a moment, we'll turn the key and rev up this weekend's action, and tomorrow we welcome a whole host of CSGO fans inside the arena. But for today, exclusively for you, sit back and relax as I welcome you to the Watsco Center, Miami.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Adam Savage. And yes, you can see it in all its glory. It is the Blast Pro Series stage. That stage is iconic now, and I can't believe I get the privilege of introducing you to it here in Miami. My name is Frankie Ward, and I'm not alone. I've got the fabulous Maniac. And in his first appearance on an analyst desk, I've got Team Envy's Nifty.
Woo! Let's go.
Are you hyped?
I am so excited to be here. Yes, this is awesome. I love Blast. I love watching these events. These events always run very, very well, so I'm excited.
Look, I don't want to put down your usual wear, but normally I see you in polyester, Nifty, and now you're in a fabulous suit you bought especially.
You know, I don't normally shop for these kinds of things, but I kind of made it an adventure and I explored a little bit, and it was honestly a lot of fun. It was a little pricey, you know, but it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed doing it, and I like dressing up and looking good, so it's for me, honestly.
Maniac, you always look good. What do you think? Marks out of 10.
I approve. I very much approve of the outfit. Very excited to work alongside Nifty. I always thought his interview was interesting, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say during this tournament.
I'm particularly interested in hearing what Nifty has to say about the American scene, though, because I was just in Shanghai and I was talking to Chet, the coach from NRG, and he was saying there's not really much of a scrim scene at the moment. What's going on?
Yeah, it is really difficult. I was actually just practicing with my team last night, and there aren't a lot of MDL teams playing. Also, there are not a lot of professional teams playing, so you're kind of limited to maybe 3 or 4 teams unless you want to go lower down the scale. So it is a lot of, it's very difficult, but I've talked with my team many, many times, like, look, it's okay. We just need to focus on what we want to practice and be confident in that. So that's kind of like what you have to do right now in the NA scene.
Well, we'll talk more about our NA teams here at Blast shortly, but we've got to take a look at our schedule for today. There are 5 rounds, 5 best of ones coming up over the weekend, and we've got 2 of them today. We're going to be breaking down MIBR versus Na'Vi in a bit. And don't forget, if you've not tuned into a Blast before, we've got 3 streams running at the same time. So there's so much action. If you've got multiple screens, why not watch them all at once? I know that's what we do in the green room.
That's the best way to do it, right? We are so lucky to have the 3 best teams in the world in one tournament right now. Like, how insane is that? Finally get to see Liquid, Na'Vi go up against each other and then probably fight the big boss, Astralis, the end game of Counter-Strike.
Are you a little bit gutted that MV aren't playing here this weekend?
Yeah, I sort of am. I mean, I'm going to get to see great Counter-Strike, but I would love to play in the Blast Pro Series tournament, you know what I mean? So.
Well, I know there are some people who will be watching for the first time today. So if you're not exactly sure what Blast Pro Series is all about, we've got a video to show you the way.
At Blast Pro Series, 6 of the world's best teams collide in an action-packed format. All teams face off against each other in a best-of-1 map format on the main stage, where 3 games take place at the same time, guaranteeing that you will see your favorite team play in the arena. After the 5 group stage rounds, the top 2 performing teams with the most points will go straight to the grand final. It's played in a best-of-3 map format, where 3 maps are picked, and the first team to win 2 maps takes home the title of Blast Pro Series champion, the coveted Blast Trophy, and $125,000 US in prize money. The third-placed team will get to play in an exciting 1 versus 1 show match called the Blast Standoff. Their opponent is picked by the audience amongst one of the teams already knocked out of the tournament, where the winning team takes home $20,000. You can tune in from home or join us in the arena for a Counter-Strike experience you won't forget.
And we can also announce here in Miami that all these tournaments mean something. You can see on screen right now the 7 teams that are in with a shot of making our grand season final in December. 4 teams are gonna make it, but how are they going to do it? Well, we've got 7 tournament stops in the run-up to this global final. 7 teams will have to play 5 events each to be in with a shot of making that final and taking home the lion's share of a $500,000 prize pool. And to put that into perspective, our prize pool at the usual Blast Tour stops is actually half of that. And you can see at the moment our leaderboard, no prizes for guessing. If you come top in an event, you get 10 points. And Astralis, of course, won in Sao Paulo, so you can see them at the top there. Now, NIP aren't appearing at this event, but of course we're going to see them at a future event. And Na'Vi, it's their first event here. Do you think they've got a shot of taking 10 points home this weekend,
Yes,
Maniac?
yes, absolutely, I do. I mean, Na'Vi, what they have shown us in Shanghai last weekend was very impressive. Obviously, Liquid and Astralis weren't here, so we have to take a bit of distance. But Na'Vi looks strong. They look strong all around. The team, everyone showed up. So I'm very much looking forward to see Na'Vi play.
Oh, absolutely. I think Navi's going to crush it. I would love to see a Na'Vi Astralis final.
The question is, are we going to see teamwork making the dream work, or is it going to be Simple trying to carry his team? I think from Star Series we saw probably the best team effort we've ever seen from Na'Vi. But we're going to talk about that very, very soon, because we're going to look at the schedule for the first round. As I said, MIBR versus Na'Vi. We've got 2 Na'Vi matches on the A stream, actually. We've got them facing Astralis as our second round of the day. But we've also got on the B stream, cast by Launders and Scrawny, Astralis versus Cloud9 and DDK and Bardolph. We're going to be taking Liquid versus FaZe. And it's not just going to be us talking about these matches, because while I've got a lovely pair on the desk, we have also got Vendetta and Potter standing by in the lightning breakdown corner.
Yes, thank you so much, Frankie. Absolutely. So I'm going to first start talking about Cloud9 versus Astralis. It's on Inferno. Ven, what do you think Astralis' win record?
I'm just going to say I think it's pretty good from what I remember.
It absolutely is. They are 6-0 in the past 3 months on Inferno. So Cloud9 definitely have quite a challenge ahead of them. Cloud9's coming into here, kind of debuting their new team. They've got 2 new members in Cajun B and Vice, and so we're expecting a lot from them. But Astralis, going back to that challenge, 6-0. We got to talk about Glaive. Glaive has the highest rated player on Astralis, on Inferno. You wouldn't think that as the in-game leader, but you can absolutely see that Glaive's in-game IQ, his game sense, really shines through, and it allows him to have a lot of really nice multi-kills on especially a map like Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nuts. What a luxury problem to have if you're Astralis. Your in-game leader is your best performer on a certain map. I would take that any day of the week.
Absolutely. So Astralis is going to be taking on Cloud9 on Inferno. Ven, who you have?
I got, a pretty decent matchup myself. I got Liquid going up against FaZe. But the curious thing about this matchup is that we're going to be seeing it play out on Nuke. And, I mean, for the longest time, that was kind of where, Liquid tried to make their mark against Astralis. And then they eventually, left it out and started filtering it out of their map pool. Now they bring it back versus FaZe. FaZe been, okay with bringing it into matchups and leaving it in vetoes for quite some time, but not necessarily who you'd call, a staple on a Nuke. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they perform. Obviously, we saw FaZe in Shanghai. Didn't go too hot for them there as well. I think they're a team that has a lot to prove. And, I mean, Liquid, we haven't seen them since Sao Paulo. It's going to be interesting to see if they've been able to maintain their form going into this event, or if it's just going to be, a bit of a rough start to the tournament, really. So a lot of questions to be answered early on in the round, and I'm excited to see what we got in store.
I have a quick question for you. Do you think it's a good idea for Liquid to take on Nuke when we know Astralis is so strong on that map?
I mean, maybe, we know that there's a new map coming into the active map pool. Maybe that's what's changing things up a little bit for them. Maybe that's why they're thinking, maybe we reintroduce Nuke. I was always surprised to see them actually filtering it out. So I think, I don't think it's a bad choice by any means by the NA team or NA team.
It's definitely not a bad choice. Frankie, what do you think?
I can't wait, to be honest, to actually see some Nuke this weekend. I can't wait to see Inferno. I'm actually surprised that teams haven't banned it against Astralis.
Well, the problem playing against Astralis is that many maps now have become non-negotiable. So at some point you have to address one of these. Either Inferno, you play Nuke. One of these, because when you play them in best of 3, you're going to veto one map, you're going to play the other. So you might as well just take them on straight up in the best of 1.
Nifty, were you a little bit annoyed as a pro player that Cash was rotated out? Because Astralis now don't have to change anything. That's their permaban.
Honestly, no. I think Cash was getting very stale. Just having those simple 3 lanes, there wasn't a whole lot you could really do tactically that was interesting or that you could introduce new to the map. So I think adding Vertigo is going to be an interesting mix. But yes, kind of like Maniac said here, it's like you have to face them on one map. You know, there has to be something. Either it's Inferno or Nuke. And Inferno kind of is that like S-tier map. You have to play Inferno. You have to be good at Inferno. That's something that a lot of teams need to do.
I think what we've got coming up actually in our first A-Stream match is probably the most surprising map pick of all, to be honest. It's Nuke, it's MIBR, and it's Na'Vi. These are not teams we associate with Nuke. And actually, we're going to find out what either team thinks of the other and this map pick. And I don't think they're going to be saying sweet somethings to each other. Let me put it that way.
The game is going to be fun. Playing against Na'Vi is always awesome matches. They have a structure that normally you don't see in other teams. They're always forcing up and forcing the economy game. So it's interesting to approach their game. And for sure, we're going to have a lot of fun.
We prepared really good for this tournament.
We're feeling pretty good. They don't have a really good match record on Nuke, and I feel that we have everything in our hands to put on a good show and hopefully stop them.
We're having some problems on Nuke as well. After all, I would say we feel pretty confident to play Nuke against them.
We just play our game. Of course, we know the style they like to play. We know how to approach a match against Na'Vi.
Actually, they never played Nuke before. They just, a couple months ago, they just started to play Nuke.
It has everything to be an easy game if we show up. If it's hard, it doesn't matter. Just know we're the better team in the server.
It's going to be up to the pair who's hitting the shots, who's getting the kills and the trades. It's a very technical game against Na'Vi, and let's see who gets the upper hand.
If we start on the hard side, 16-8. If on the easy side, 16-5. Easy.
The score will be 16-9 for Na'Vi.
It's going to be great, so better watch it out.
Taco there saying that MIBR, they're going to be playing their own game, but is that a good idea? Because we've all read that Fallen interview on HLTV, and he's pretty much said it's not working for them. It's not 2016 anymore, Maniac.
Yeah, it is very different. So I like the confidence from MIBR, right? They say it's going to be either 16-5 with a good start, 16-8 if it's complicated, and it just contrasts with Fallen's interview where he talks about, like, we realize we're in a bad position now. We have to kind of calibrate our expectations and the situation. But going against Nuke, I mean, they don't have that many good results on it. No reference, really. They lost against FaZe 16-11. They just beat Argo. That was in a WSG. But no real ground. Maybe they prepared something. They've been traveling so much, I doubt so. Whereas Na'Vi, they've been playing Nuke for a while. Not the best map for them, but they know how to do it.
Absolutely. I think if MIBR are playing Nuke, it's because they believe in it. You know, their practice or they have some sort of routine or process set up around the map that gives them the belief to win the map. So I'm going to go ahead and just trust them that they probably know.
That choice?
Yeah, that they probably know what they want to do. You know, and obviously they have to be confident about it and say that, like, we're going to take the scoreline 16-8, 16, 16-4, whatever it is. But I think it'll be an interesting game. However, I do think Na'Vi will win.
Can I put the cat amongst the pigeons here and just ask, do you think that Na'Vi have just picked it to practice against MIBR? Because we saw them play Nuke a couple of times at Star Series. They had a really close win against NIP on it. And let's face it, NIP weren't at their strongest. They were still figuring things out with Draken. They hadn't even really practiced that map with Draken. So actually, I don't think they even would have won Nuke against NIP if it hadn't been for Simple's ace in their second half. So I am not convinced at all by this map pick. Why on earth do you think they've done this?
It's hard to say. You know, it's kind of like one of those toss-up games. I think we are weirded out kind of to see Nuke.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we absolutely. But I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think Na'Vi will end up taking it. Honestly, it's just I'm gonna roll with that.
Well, the thing is, because of the format, right, you cannot take that many risks today. You can be in a very bad position tomorrow if you end up losing 1 or 2 games. So you have to believe they knew what they were doing. Yes, they didn't have a very good showing on Nuke lately, but maybe in their head it's like they don't know how to play the map. We do. Yes, we've had problems, but we have something to fall back on. They don't. And plus, they come with full confidence from Shanghai. So all put that together, that could explain why they would take the risk and play Nuke.
Now, Nifty, you've picked a couple of players to go head-to-head in our face-off, so let's see who you chose.
Yes, so I chose Fur from MIBR, mainly for his he's known for his aggression, CT sides especially, kind of just being very risky, pushing those different parts of the map, looking for those kills to give them the one-up on the round. So if we can see a lot of that from him on this map, it could change things for MIBR completely. I know it's difficult because it's Nuke, but I think if anyone can pull it off, it could be Fur. And he's going up against Electronic in this face-off, and I think one of the coolest things about Electronic is that he carries this ferocity as a player that's just amazing. Like, I don't see any other riflers move the same way that Electronic does around the map, with the same kind of just this aggression, this confidence, with these peaks and the kills in the fights that he wins. It's amazing, honestly. Electronic, I think, is a one-of-a-kind rifler that we see in this exact era of Counter-Strike.
Very much agree.
Yeah. So on top of that, like, I think it's going to be a great game for this face-off.
I'm just wondering, though, in terms of MIBR, we talked about Fur, of course, but what's happened to Cold Zero?
Yeah, that is a complicated situation, right? The truth is, he's had the two of the lowest tournaments of his career, last year for sure, but the actual numbers aren't that bad. So the thing is, he was so high up, one of the best players in the world, he even was at that rank at some point, so that we are looking for him now. Is it a case of, because of how the team is playing, trying to find their groove and their game sense just in general, then he feels a little bit out of it? Because he was always a player to basically abuse an advantage they have in the game. A little bit get-right-ish in that sense. And obviously now that they struggle, he also struggles individually to make the difference.
And this is a team that used to capitalize on their enemies' mistakes,
Yes,
and now they're making the mistakes, so everyone's capitalizing there. They're turning the tables on MIBR. Let's take a look at your defining factors. You are focusing on MIBR on Nuke, aren't you, Maniac?
Yes, I am. It's no secret we favor Na'Vi, but I'm trying to think how MIBR can do it. So the first factor is, as you said, Coldzera. He needs to find his form again. They are going to need him. He was always part of the success of MIBR. Then I said Captain Fallen, and Captain is very interesting. It's not just on the server. He needs to be a leader. They are in shambles. They are in a very tough spot right now, and he needs to rally the troops, really. And then there is the power plays. You know, MIBR at the moment have a very sad ability to lose 5v4, and at the top level, that's not going to fly. You need to convert these rounds, and finally, the defense. Defense on Nuke, yes, that sounds like every team should have a good defense, but because I don't really believe in their ability to have a very good attack, it's a very tactical map, it's not easy to play. If MIBR wants a chance to win, they need to have that rock-solid defense.
Nifty, how would you describe Na'Vi's attack?
I think it's going to be very based around simple and electronic, just moving, especially in the outside area of the map. It's always fun. I always think it's fun to see Simple just like move around outside with the op, you know, and go for these crazy picks because he's not afraid to take those fights, you know, and he's aware of everything that's happening at the same exact time, which is just one of the things that's amazing about Simple. But again, like I said, we're going to need Electronic to kind of back him up because generally when they do win games, especially against any of the top teams, it's usually because Electronic has backed up Simple and he's given him that extra edge to put them over the top. So I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
So actually, would we see Simple playing as well as he is now? Because he is just getting better year after year without Electronic.
Yes.
Yes, I still think he'd be good.
I don't know. I think obviously he would really be good. But what was interesting for Na'Vi in Shanghai is that the whole team actually stepped up a time. We saw Edward have a better tournament that he had recently. We saw Zeus having some impact. And Flamey was a little bit silent. We praise him a lot. So suddenly this lineup that is usually a two-man army, really like Simple and Electronic, there were actually 5 men on the server, like a full roster, very, very dangerous. And this Na'Vi could be a championship Na'Vi. If they want to beat Astralis, if they want to beat the Liquid, they need to bring exactly that today and tomorrow.
Can they beat Astralis if Flamey doesn't step it back up again?
I believe that the Na'Vi I've seen in Shanghai can beat Astralis. But then again, it's all biased because, you know, they've pretty much won the tournament very easily. Astralis weren't here. So, you know, we have this saying, quand le chat n'est pas là, les souris dansent. So it means like, if the cat's not here, the mouse are dancing. Is that how you say it in English? So basically, Na'Vi had a good time because Astralis wasn't here. Now they're here. They need to do it again.
Can you speak French, Nifty, and translate that?
No, I'd love to, but
yeah,
No,
I definitely feel very insignificant.
No, we can do that after.
Now, I think we'll probably talk about our expectations in terms of score lines and stuff shortly because we have to take a break. But as you've just heard, this match is going to be absolutely electric, so do not go anywhere. It's going to be Nuke. It's going to be Na'Vi versus MIBR coming up after this short break.
Expect the Brazilian fans to be really, really loud.
Last time they made my entire setup shake.
If you guys ever experience a Brazilian crowd, you're gonna see it's really loud, People are really passionate about the game. Prepare to see something special.
Oi, Belisa, and welcome to the Blast Pro Series, Sao Paulo, Brazil!
Woo! It's loud. It's insane.
A couple of people in here.
But that's why we're here.
Yeah. I can feel that vibration through the walls, through the floor, through my heart, to the core.
Ladies and gentlemen, some Brazilian Counter-Strike.
Oh, yes! Sip is gone! What a match between these two teams. Some incredibly creative boosts and awkward moments as well. They're willing to get dirty. Found ourselves one hell of a weekend of Counter-Strike.
The team facing off against Eds in our standoff match is MIBR!
Dumps him with the boxes.
It's the most amazing thing to play Counter-Strike for control.
Ubu needs to close it out. Oh,
it's awkward!
It's a feeling that I really can't describe in words.
Is it going to be an Astralis Liquid final?
It will be.
Well, baby, go, baby. We are ready for the grand final.
I'm just excited to play the final here with an amazing crowd.
I think this is going to be a year-long thing, and we're excited to play.
Liquid is playing amazing right now.
It's going to be a 6 final.
I think the crowd's going to be crazy, and I think that they're going to be on our side. Thanks for having us, guys.
It's going to be sad for the crowd in here today, I think, because they're going to be a bit quiet.
We've got Astralis! We've got Team Liquid! Match done!
Let's go, folks. The finals has begun. It's a bit of a... Straight from downtown. Alish still... No way! A third one. Beautiful side-on work. We got that last bit of utility chucked up and over. Debris looks to lock down the defense. Sipek spraying the Fomus, catches 2 bodies. It is just Nap and Nap alone, and down he goes. There you have it, folks. Astralis victory in the most convincing of fashions. They are not on another level. They are on another planet.
Please, Brazil, give it up, your Blast Pro Series Sao Paulo champions. It's Astralis!
I was smiling throughout the day because these guys are so crazy, man. You can't compare to anything. We came here for the passion. We saw the passion, and we'll come back for sure.
Hi, I'm Simple of Navi. Well, this is the best player in the world at this moment.
Him best player in the world.
I don't think Simple was aware, but look at that reaction.
I like play with him, but we have problems sometimes because...
Ooh, hit that time!
Emotional, very emotional.
Passion.
He's always pushing the boundary of what we thought was possible.
You with it?
I think Simple is what you get when you take the maximum amount of natural talent with the maximum amount of work ethic and then add just a little bit of Ukrainian craziness on top. So I don't know, it's unbelievably scary. There's probably nobody in the world like him.
Just to one point, Learn finds 2 kills, Simple flashed. I have to see if there's
The man, the myth, the man, the legend, joining us here in Miami. I can't wait to see what he brings to the table against MIBR. But what did you make of that video? Zeus saying, yeah, he's the best player in the world, but we have some problems, Maniac.
I mean, we've talked about the fact that Simple needed to evolve as a human being, not only as a player, because he has been one of the best for a long, long time. But what is very interesting is he seemed to have come on his own just as a player, as a professional. And when we talk to him in an interview, he's up there now because he's unique, not only in his play style, in dedication, what he gives to the game, and just his ability. I mean, Anders said it, there's no one in the world that does what he does right now.
He's incredible for so many reasons. Yeah. Like in the game, it's like he will read every situation correctly, and he just makes so incredible use of his time. You know, like even if the clock could be on 4 seconds, and he's still able to figure out everything that he needs to be able to do in order to win the round, and he's just able to calculate that in his mind, and it's insane to see as a player. But like he said, like growing as a person, like that was very, very important to his stardom. So I think he's done that. He's done a wonderful job at that. I've heard great things about him as a teammate, as a growing player, and just the passion that he gives when he plays the game, and it just looks so effortless. You know, like he has so much fun while he's fragging and just making, you know, clips very easily, just getting clips left and right. It's incredible.
It was almost frustrating when I was still playing. I don't know if you feel like that, but I would watch Simple's demo and I would try to understand, okay, how is he doing it? We have the same keyboard, same mouse, we're playing the same game, but he just does everything I would do 10 times faster. Aiming, decision making, where he would peek, how he would do it. He would just do it faster and cleaner than I would. That's how crazy it is.
And you guys, I remember backstage at Star Series, you talking to me in the green room about the fact that actually Simple's crosshair placement, it's not always there. It's not always naturally in the right place, but the flick is so fast.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, how quick he can be. So if I would be aiming at a position and do it in 2 seconds, he would do it in half of it. And that's how he reacts. With the AWP, he has this ability to hold 2 angles at the same time. How insane is that? He was let his crosshair in the middle, and whoever comes either left or from the right just get flicked, and that's it. It opens up so many possibilities in your playstyle when you're able to do that. So he kind of bends the rules of Counter-Strike. That's how amazing he is to me.
It's the versatility that really strikes me with Simple. You know, he's able to do everything. And you pointed out a really good example of, like, especially when you have an op, you know, he's not scared or concerned to place his crosshair in the middle of 2 angles. You know, it's like, I know from experience when I do that, I actually feel much more comfortable than going between one and the other. So I can kind of understand, like, where he comes from there, you know, and it's just incredible that he's able to push that at every chance that he gets. It's amazing.
But will he perform on the big stage if they make it to the final against Astralis? Because obviously we saw that mistakes were made in that semi-final match at the major against ENCE, and they should have won that on paper.
Well, we really have no reason to doubt his consistency. He has done it at the major. He has been doing it for a long time. Even when Navi was having struggle, he was always there. So he's a certainty. Simple is always going to be there, always going to have a crazy performance.
Now, I believe we are ready to get started with our first round here at the Blast Pro Series in Miami. And our first match on the A-Stream, MIBR versus Na'Vi on Nuke, is going to be cast by my favorite new power couple. It's going to be Henry G and Anders.
Well, thank you so much, Frankie. Really appreciate that. Of course, your power couple, Henry, that's a dangerous term.
I'm not sure how this one's going to go. Are we allowed to be on the airways together? Do you think it's going to be safe?
Probably not. I mean, I would hope not. I think we can make sure that's not going to happen.
Well, at least we've got a great game to cast here.
Yes.
On Nuke as well, MIBR versus Na'Vi. They broke down the whole Simple enigma. It seems like he is in absolute beast mode right now. MIBR playing a map they're not necessarily familiar with, at least as far as we're aware. So surely you got Na'Vi as a favourites going into this one.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think just thinking about the defensive side on that CT side, how do you stop Simple from being, let's say, ramp, heaven, and yard all at the same time?
Well, I guess the one bit of good news that MIBR have here, it's not such an AWP-centric map, but Simple can't go absolutely hammer. There's plenty of protocols to actually eradicate an AWPer. There's lots of smokes outside, there's lots of fakes, lots of variations of strategies here. But like you said, it's Simple. He knows how to play the game. He'll be absolutely everywhere. He'll be unpredictable. He'll be difficult to play against here. And I'm still interested to see what MIBR are going to bring to the table. We saw their vetoes yesterday. We saw all the games they're going to play. They're kind of shying away from their familiar approach of Inferno. That was their go-to pick for the last 3 or 4 months or so. Now it's their first veto, which I find fascinating. Maybe just trying to reimagine the way they play and just go with a completely new philosophy here.
Yeah, I feel like they sort of almost have to a little bit, right? The expectations for this lineup is so high, but it's you know, sort of a little bit up and down. I mean, I don't know if you call this, Henry, but I said that I thought MIBR are going to sort of win the next major, and then they proceeded to just lose every game since I said that, which is exciting to me. I think that sets me up nicely. Exactly where I want to be.
Just getting the bad luck out of the way, I think. That's all it's been so far, and this is the event where it all comes together. They're definitely a hard-working squad. They know they haven't been performing to the level they expect. Their fans want, especially. So we'll see how this one goes down for them.
How do you feel about, I mean, we talk so much about Simple, but I mean, if you just look at the whole roster of players that are in the server right now, we've got, I mean, another couple of people that can certainly stand up to someone like Simple. I mean, Cold Syrup on the other side there for MIBR.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he's not gonna be scared in any way whatsoever by Simple, and I think if we could find any kind of like head-to-head match between those two, if they could have any kind of fight going out in that yard on Nuke, that would be exciting. I want to see that all the time.
I hope it comes through. I can't tell you how how MIBR are going to play this one out, because I haven't really casted any of their nuke games. It's really been an interesting one, the way the Vetoes have gone down here. They really have thrown everything we thought we knew out the window, and hopefully it lives up to expectations, because I have not been excited to watch MIBR the last few events. It's been quite lackluster, crashing out in group stages time and time again, and this is such a decorated squad as well. This is multiple major winners in this squad in an absolute slump, and they've had their ups and downs throughout their kind of tenure as this roster, but this has got to be one of the lowest points so far.
Yeah, and I mean, that's despite of the fact that you think they'd have all the pieces they want right now. The whole squad's back together again, and it's looking really good, or at least it should look, exactly like they want. It's hard to imagine, if they even could make a change, who would they get instead? Like, what would be the big upgrade they were looking for?
Well, that's been the question mark around them for so long, and that goes for Na'Vi as well. We all thought after the major they were going to change roster, but then they get better and better, it seems. It's all not really making sense here at all. Everyone thought Na'Vi were changing roster, and then they did very well. The last few events, obviously just picking up a trophy, and maybe this is the squad that sticks together now. I'm not really sure what to call.
It's very hard to tell. It definitely is. I'm super excited to see this game. I think the last time I saw MIBR on Nuke, they were playing against FaZe, and they were up really, really far, and then they ended up losing to like a really great comeback from FaZe. That was down in Sao Paulo, I believe. So, I mean, they looked really, really flat on their T side, MIBR. Like, they had one style that they were running, and they couldn't change out of it. There was, like, no way. They had one plan, and that didn't work after a while.
It's true. Nuke is one of those tricky maps. You definitely need to have variations of your default. You need to be suggesting you're doing one thing and then presenting another. That's the whole idea of the Nuke T side. There's not many innovations we've seen as of late in terms of different strategies or really crazy approaches. I want to see more upper executions. I think they're underutilized in today's game. But I think we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. The first map here at Blast Pro Series. Na'Vi will kick things off on the T side. You can see they've got 5 sets of armor, and they're not slowing down whatsoever. Straight towards outside, and there's no one to spot them, so they've actually done a decent job so far. A bit of information gathered there, some damage exchange. You can see Simple goes down to 54, but they have got down cleanly.
That's a dangerous repeat for Fallen. He actually just kept taking that fight. I thought for sure he would want to fall back. That's a great headshot, though, from Coldzera. He's going to get tagged in return. Stands up again. Another one to follow. And finally, Electronic will take him down. But that just might have been enough, Henry. That was a great defense. And now Fallen going to chime in to take down Suit. So 2 on 4 here.
Not really much can be done at this point. Electronic with the bomb, however. He will get the plant down. No problem whatsoever. They have no utility to shut him down, and indeed not. It's actually going to be a denial from further, and just plainly left, and he's going to get 1 consolation frag, but that is it. A very basic approach from Na'Vi there. 5 sets of armor, all 5 players outside towards Secret, spotted, and then had no backup plan. You can't really fall back out of that. You have no utility to get out of that position. Everyone knows you're going towards lower, and at that point, it's MIBR picking up the pistol on the CT side of Nuke as well. A very important round for them in a best of 1.
I mean, normally, if you just recap that round in simple sentences, you'd say, okay, they went for the B-bomb site, they got to the B-bomb site, and that's that's kind of what you want on the T side. But I actually feel like they were sort of let in there. MIBR just said, yeah, you can have that. We'll pick up a couple of people along the way, and then by the time you're there, you actually can't hold it any longer. So it doesn't really help you that much.
Well, for now, no force buy in the second round here. Na'Vi going for AKs in the third. We can see Fur here, he's got, of course, the org in hand, looking to find multiple kills here. There's the first, as he removes Flamey from the equation. Looks like a very simple procedure here for the MIBR boys. Going to be a 2-0, no problem at all. You can see the Deagle of Edward just trying to steal away a kill if possible. Bomb is now down, but will continue. Oh, it's Phelps, I beg your pardon, getting the full kill there. Just Edward looking for anything he can. No armor, Deagle in hand. And certainly death coming in soon. There it is. Phelps gets himself another $600. MP9 works out for him. And it's going to be 2-0 to MIBR. But like we said, Na'Vi with the AKs right here, right now. This is where the game really begins.
Absolutely is. And again, just to remind you, last time they played on this map versus FaZe, their CT side was looking great for MIBR. This is really the T side that was lacking. So that's still, I'm going to hold my breath for that. I'm not going to celebrate too early. I think they need a lot of rounds, or they need to have changed that T approach a lot.
Well, this is going to be a very telling round. If MIBR can win this, they're setting themselves up for a fantastic CT side. If they lose it, they just need to make sure they get at least 3 or 4 kills. They'll be able to buy up next round regardless, and we'll see if they can hold off the team with just SMGs here, a scout and 1 org. You see a bit of aggression there towards the ramp from just trying to push them towards outside as Fur holds towards the garage right now. Electronic trying to use his incredible aim to find that first pick as they slow things right down.
He's keeping a little bit of eye on that yard, but he hasn't actually seen anyone. I mean, Fur playing really far back in the garage. Not always easy early on in the game like this, because they might have enough grenades to sort of check all of it. And just the fact that, I mean, if you're playing on that T side and you want to find the CT that's defending the yard and you can't for a long time, that in itself could be a little bit of an annoyance, because you know there's somebody out here eventually, you're just not sure where they are, and you end up spending a lot of time doing it. They finally put up that wall of smokes, and they're going to try and see if they can make their way down the stairs. Just under a minute now, and Electronic kind of leading the charge, while the other two seem to be on the ramp side, so it looks like they want to try and see if they can crunch their way towards that B side eventually.
Love this angle from Phelps. He might be able to steal a kill away here and get back in the vent, but there are two players on the other side, Zeus and Electronic, coming through. They actually spots the shoulder of Phelps. He needs to get the hell out of there at this point. Changes position towards Squeaky Door, and this is where first position really comes into its own. Not the cleanest of kills, but given plenty of time to get it. 4 versus 4, but not for long. It's going to be Na'Vi with the advantage here.
It's a good couple of kills in return, though. Fallen with a scout kill on Flamey, finally taking him down now. Cold Zero up close with the MP9. Oh, what a peek. I mean, he just called that. That was a bit of an off angle as well, and a great double headshot to end the round with. Na'Vi going to come up really big in that one.
Well, there it is, using the advantage of the rifles there. Really perfect round from Na'Vi. Knew what they were up against. They saw as a mixture of SMG scouts in that one org, so they slowed it right down, stick together, work those trades, and of course did a great job there. I love Simple's play towards the end as well. Just when you feel like he's out of position, he's got low health, he pulls that out the bag. Double headshot coming through out of the hub.
Do you think that's a call you make as a team in the beginning, or do you just know that when you're playing against those SMGs, they're probably going to be close range fights as opposed to long range?
You don't want to do anything fast there. You don't want to be running in through tight choke points. You want to run a classic default, work a pick, and then use trade potential there, because the CT is going to be pushed up, and it's not the sort of map you can get super aggressive on the CT side. So Na'Vi did a great job there. But as we mentioned, even if MIBR lost that round, they still have rifles now. That's exactly the case. Certainly not ideal with the FAMASs in hand, but enough to win the round for sure. But Na'Vi with a massive advantage here in round number 4.
And Taco playing that ramp position. He did a great job last time we saw him play here. It's very, very hard. I mean, it's such a key position, but also you're so isolated, and you know, one little mistake and actually that could be the whole defense. So I always have a little bit of sympathy for the ramp player.
It's one of the hardest positions to play in CS. It's so much pressure on that spot. If you go down with nothing, you've actually granted so much map control towards the T's. It's all about discipline. You need to know when to drop back, when to find kills, and very rarely you can. Now there's Phelps opening things up. Flamey will go down, and Fur is holding this tight angle. As soon as he spots him, drop the incendiary. He's buying time. He's trying to push them back towards upper, and that's exactly what's happened, at least for now. Electronic dissuaded from the secret steps. They'll maintain that 5 versus 4. Cold Zero on the hut as time ticks away.
Yeah. 40 seconds, I mean, it's not quite critical yet, but it will be soon. 3 on 5 as well for Na'Vi. They've got so much yard control, but I don't think they can actually do much with it. Pretty good kill for Electronic. He's down to 29 himself, but same amount of time on the clock, more or less. And how do you convert this into a win? That's a pretty good shot, taking down Taco. And now they're starting to crunch onto the site. Simple making his way close with that AK-47. 18 seconds on the clock, and he's up on the hut looking down. If he gets this opening, that's all they need. Simple gonna pick up one, and now he's covering the hut in that with a Molotov as Edward takes down Cold Zero. Suddenly they turn it around. What a conversion.
That's so sick. From Edward especially, that shot underneath the ladder was pivotal. He absolutely rails the player waiting, and then Simple, just so aware of what could be on the other side of that bomb site. They gets himself on the hut, a prime position, and what I loved about that, he gets the kill. He's not knifing out, trying to get the bomb down. He's aware. Someone could push through the hut. He is looking at it, ready and waiting, and you thought they run out of time. They're 30 seconds, a 5 on 3, but they make it work. And now it goes 2-2, and full eco for MIBR.
Not the great position to be in right now for the Brazilian side. That last round, I mean, they had the man advantage. I don't actually think they had any clue about where the last 3 players were until Electronic got that first kill outside. Then they were like, okay, well, one guy's there, but they just didn't know any other positions. Really big problem.
Really would have liked Fallen to play more defensively at that point with the time as low as it was. I feel like he felt like it was a foregone conclusion perhaps, and just wanted to get a bit more information, work out where they are. He goes down, and that's going to be the catalyst for success as Na'Vi claw back into the round, and they should take the lead at this point as well. 3-2 looking incredibly likely. MIBR not spending a single dollar in round number 5 here. USPs across the board, and another smart round from Na'Vi. They're not overcommitting, they're not dropping all their utility straight away, getting information. One player just going to be leading the charge, that's Edward, as his teammates make their way towards Secret. It's been a very slow and methodical game from Na'Vi so far, and they're not making any mistakes at all. Nice Molotovs to push back anyone that's waiting on the steps for a cheeky 1-dig there. And Zeus will go first. Confirm at least it's clear in the initial sectors.
You know, Henry, as a former pro player yourself,
okay.
What do you do in a round like this if you're on the CT side and you're just waiting? Are you...
So we're seeing a lot of teams these days go for a stack, normally towards a B site, but Nuke doesn't really allow you to do that. So you want to be going for something a little bit cheeky just to get a couple of kills away, maybe get HE grenades towards outside or stack the upper bomb site. Honestly, with just USBs and nothing more, if you get a couple of kills, for me, that's a success in its own rights. As Simple and Flamey go to town on the upper bomb side, just Taka remains. If he gets one here, that'd be something. Gets the dink on Simple, takes him down to 2 HP, but it's still not quite enough. And we have got the 3-2 coming forward. Na'Vi bouncing right back after losing the pistol here, and that is not good news for MIBR. As you mentioned, their T side didn't look great the last time we saw it, but an adjustment here, 5 orgs. And I'm not sure how you feel about the whole org meta these days. I kind of embrace it. I feel like it kind of recreates classic CS almost with the angles you can hold, but what are your thoughts on the org right now?
I really like the kind of Counter-Strike that we're getting out of it. I think just as a person, Henry, I'm stuck around the year 2000, so
okay.
it's generally hard for me to adopt to anything new that goes on. But I like it. I mean, I think it's exciting. Definitely a lot of crazy kills that we're seeing out of it.
Oh, that's a crazy kill right there. You wanted one? You've been delivered a lovely crater from Edward there, courtesy of Fur. Does a bit of damage and slows him down on the jump.
That's terrible. You never want to see that happen, especially not in slow motion and on up close if we can get that.
Well, it's another 5 versus 3, but MIBR couldn't stick the landing on the previous one. Taco, we mentioned the ramp is very difficult to play. That's what he should do, though. He's got the information now, and he just wants to fall back. It's fine to grant them the ramp as long as you don't die. You need to control lower and slow them down as they actually focus towards the heaven position. Bombs there, Simple coming through, and Fur, that's a great spot. They'll have to make some sort of noise. They're going to get up towards the ladder, get the flash. They have to do something here. So he'll at least get one frag out of this, no problem at all. There's the first. Nicely positioned, no one giving anything away at this point in the 5 versus 2. Fur goes down, but there's actually no problem at all there because he knows exactly what the last 2 players are, and now it's up to the CTs just to play defensively.
Oh, it's a grid shot again. Phelps there picking up the kill on Flamey. It's very unfortunate for Zeus because they had already thrown the flashbang that was going to try and get the kill on Fur out there, and it was just a second late, so missed timing. Could have maybe had something like a 2-on-3 here instead of a 1 versus 4 for Simple. Never really want to count him out, but again, there's only 25 seconds as he picks up the first headshot there on Phelps. He does have the bomb, but he just can't check all of the corners, and Cold Zero will take him down. That's a really nice return to the game here for MIBR. A much-needed round, I would say.
Just needed the orgs.
Yeah.
That was the only problem. I'm interested to see whether they're going to be bringing out the fallen AWP eventually. I'm sure they will. Just need to be a little bit more financially secure. There's the replay. This is great coming in. So
oh, no,
this
Henry.
is a little bit unfortunate. So you do get slowed right down there as you get shot and then Edward taken down. And Creators, not the end of the world, but still, it's MIBR tying things up at 3-3. The AWP in the hands of Simple this time. So this will be a much slower round, I would assume. They went for a fast approach outside of the previous. The smokes weren't ideal on the T side, but that wasn't really the issue. Simple just watching towards the garage now. From the silo position, seeing if he can open things up. There's no CTs in that position right now, but Fur is rotating towards main entrance. See if this could be enough. He's actually towards lower. So there we go, just making sure he can play that same position. Incendiary in hand, as soon as he spots one, drop it, fall back. And that's actually not the Fur playstyle at all. Usually he would be creeping up there, going for a kill, but he's being very disciplined the last few rounds.
Got him on a leash for now.
It seems so.
That's really interesting, isn't it? I can't even think of, is there any way to counter that guy holding a Molotov there? I mean, you just have to sort of accept the fact that you're going to be slowed down for 10 seconds.
I love this approach. Once you know they've got the outside control and you've actually blocked them off here, not only do they know you know, you also push them back towards upper. Some great play coming in from the CTs here, and a better shot from Simple. The wallbang comes in towards CT. Spawn! He can't find the second, however, and Electronic is left in a very difficult situation to be Fur. And we'll drop Electronic towards the secret steps, and once again, a 4 versus 1 as Zeus tries to cause any sort of financial damage he can here. Doesn't look too good, though.
It's worth the attempt for sure, but Phelps with a great cleanup out there. I mean, I think that is, if you know, just asking about the org and how it plays in the game, exactly that yard position is where it can just do so much damage, and certainly see that right there. So back to very limited economy, at least on some of the players here for Na'Vi. Gonna buy an MP5 on Zeus. Maybe we could see one of those fancy A rushes we sometimes see. They're dangerous to make when you know the other team has Molotovs, but
if you do them correctly, they're very dangerous. Yeah. They have some amazing flashbangs available to them. There's one flash just outside T-Spawn we call the God Flash these days. It just jumps straight through the window and makes things Very difficult with the CTs waiting towards upper. With this sort of buy, I completely agree with you. That's the sort of round you want to be presenting now. Try and get an upper execution going, maybe a rush, try and get a player down the vent per se. We'll see whether that happens as they take their first tactical timeouts. You can see the money not amazing on the T side there. And MP5, you don't really see too many of those purchases. Normally about 15 per event will come out. It's not a very popular weapon because the MP9, pound for pound, is just much better. It's cheaper, higher rate of fire, more mobility. It doesn't have a silencer, but the MP9 seems to be the favorite SMG right now.
When you got as few grenades as they have anyway here, Na'Vi, you know, there are no fakes or anything. Like, once you put down the initial grenades, that's it. You're sort of committed to whatever it is you're doing, so we'll see how this plays out.
This is an outside fake now, so this is all about suggesting, like we in the pregame, they're just throwing the same smokes, flashbangs out there, trying to pull that player towards lower. That will be fur, and he'll be holding that incendiary, hopefully. That's what they're going for here, and this could be the upper execution we are looking for. You can see them posturing towards the lobby right now. There's the flashbang, and as we're getting it, maybe it will be coming through soon. We wanted to see this play. Will it be successful?
They're going to toss it right in the window. Phelps, not flashed yet. He can still see, and he's going to get that kill on Flamey to begin with, and now he's just waiting. Cold Zero right behind him. Good return kill for Simple. Jumping down, though, aggressive, and Phelps is going to be going down. Simple with a big double opening here, and he's going to be jumping back. He actually capped the height of his jump, and he's going to try and spray through. Electronic opening up now on Taco. This is a very confusing round for MIBR. Na'Vi absolutely everywhere has fallen, takes down Simple, and now back lower. 2-on-2 here for the afterplant.
One flashbang available. Zeus and Electronic with the advantage here. There's an incendiary for Fur available as Electronic holds the ramp. Is playing off each other. They're very well positioned here. This is looking lovely. The bomb, not in a prime position, I'll say that much, as the incendiary comes through towards the ramp, and there's going to be double team action here. Zeus with a nice frag, and it's great work in the end. Electronic will finish things off there. It's going to be 4-4 after losing the first kill. As we mentioned, that flashbang not actually super effective towards upper, but Simple certainly was. Amazing movement there. I can't stress enough. Like, he didn't look like he was panicked at all there. Jumps out of threat of danger and manages to get 2 very clean kills. And it's actually ruined MIBR here. You can see the shotguns coming out, the Deagles, as they have to just invest very lightly into this round.
If you sort of go back and you're playing your Phelps in that position, and Cold Sear is dead behind you, and you're playing on the hot, and you know he ended up going down to try and fight Simple. But if he had stayed on the hot, that could have also been a bad choice. I feel like I have a little bit of sympathy for him having to make the choice to either stay or go and be aggressive, and it just turns out Simple was ready for him.
So good. Always so consistent as well. You very rarely see Simple have a bad game. He might have a quiet half, but he always sticks to landing whatever happens, it seems. As Edward just hunting for that information. You can see back to business here. Slow and methodical once again, just trying to get that information. Essentially at this point, they're trying to work out what are we up against? What have they got? Do they have Deagles? Do they have Scouts here? Just going to hold up and see if a CT makes a mistake. They will eventually. Just need to get a tiny bit of intel here as Electronic just holding up. You can see him discussing the options with the teammates here. Taco, pretty common position. Can steal away a kill. The objective here, get the 1D, drop right down, and hopefully make things uncomfortable for the terrorists on the other side, but this is very good from Na'Vi. Outside smoke's coming in now. Just the one player out there. It's Electronic as he throws in Molotov, takes vision away from the CTs here, and maybe going back towards upper, but that's where the shotgun is positioned.
Yeah, one shotgun to change the outcome of the round. I mean, it's happened before. Now Taco, he's quite far away and made it a little bit harder for him to fall back if he wanted to. He's going to stick around and fight a little bit longer, but I would say another couple of shots and they would have been all over him. Now he's got a bit of backup here coming over from heaven or hell at least, and it's Cold Zero just deagling away. They can definitely hear that on Na'Vi side, a little bit worried that they're going to run into trouble. Oh, a lot of damage to follow up as well. Great double headshot, but Taco looking for more, hasn't even reloaded yet, and Simple will take him down. He was going for all 3. Nothing going to come up the first shotgun there. Only 10 seconds left for Na'Vi to try and get that plant. They will get it, but this might be it for MIBR. If they can turn this round in their favor, that's going to have a big outcome in this first half here. Cold Zero down and out of it. Edward, smart, and actually Simple going to assist with that one. So tough luck there. Taco, he gave it all.
He absolutely did. He almost got a third as well. The third player ran straight past him. There was an opportunity to really seal the round at that point, but not going to happen. MIBR make things a little bit tricky for Na'Vi, but essentially it's going to be 5-4, and for the first time, Fallen brings out the AWP on the CT side. Usually positioned towards outer, but you can go towards heaven, and indeed the ramp room. Great job by Taco, but not quite enough, I'm afraid, as another 5 versus 3 slips out of their grasp. Will this be the tactical timeout for MIBR? I would say they probably need one at this point. They're changing the setup. They're bringing the AWP in. This would be a prime opportunity just to get a pause in there. Remember, it's a best of one. A lot of rides on the line here. The fact that this is a round-robin format, you're up against one of the favorites in the tournament as well. You want to be using these pauses and make sure that every setup is exactly the way you practiced.
Now that the adrenaline is really pumping here, Henry, sort of some memories are coming back to me in the middle of the game, and I feel like last time we saw them play on the CT side, MIBR, they actually were really big on lobby crunches. Like, they would have Taco push up aggressively, and sometimes they had, you know, Cold Zero playing that HUD position. We haven't seen much of that right now.
The problem is, until you get secure and you're feeling confident, it's difficult to make those sort of calls. It's difficult to justify them because you don't have a financial backing here. It's much safer to sort of play a classic setup here instead of one player saying, I'm going to push in towards lobby. That's probably not going to work out for you. Much better off just playing in the setup. And once you feel like you're in control and you have the momentum behind you and you can afford to take some risks, that's when we should see it. But yeah, absolutely right. MIBR just haven't got going in that department at all. But maybe this is a chance for change. As Fallen, like he said, bringing out the sniper. Electronic looking to challenge with the Orc here. He's got a lovely smoke just set up there just to give him lots of intel. He's cognizant of the fact there could be a CT close range, but no one there. Just showing a bit of presence there with the shots. And it's going to be Fur, in fact, who's actually positioned with the Orc outside. And indeed, Fallen heads towards the ramp. So Taco's shown himself there to be alone. And that's why Fallen goes in that position. He's hoping they try and bully Taco off there. And he's there with the AWP.
Yeah, just to change your weapons, you know, facilitating a change of positions. Phelps again opening up out in that yard. Flamey going down. Now things got much worse here for Na'Vi. Again, I think MIBR need to just win all the rest of the rounds right now. They need to go on a really long streak. Even 10-5, I'm not sure would be completely comfortable for them at the moment. Fur taking down Edward, so now they're looking really good. Surely Henry, they can't lose another 5 versus 3.
You think that, but the way Na'Vi are playing right now, I wouldn't be surprised. Simple and Electronic are alive, and that's one dastardly duo, let me tell you. As they head towards lower right now, 50 seconds on the clock. Taco in a pretty classic position here. Doesn't need to overcommit, just needs to just try and slow them down, steal a kill away, and just be a nuisance, essentially.
Just showing his head, and doesn't want to re-peek it. Don't really blame him. Electronic making it a 3 versus 4, and we still have about 35 seconds on the clock as they start to make their way down. Shooting through the door, and Simple's going to take down Taco. He just absolutely outplayed him, didn't he? 25 seconds, and now they're going to go for the bomb plant. Nobody there to stop it either, and just like that, it's a 3-on-3 as Fallen comes in, takes down Sue Simple again to take down for... Oh! Almost happened.
Let him in! What happened? He blocked himself. Did he close the door?
I'm not sure. Somebody's going to have to get the blame. I'm not sure if it was Electronic on the one side or not, but now it's a 1 versus 2.
He was away. It was done. Electronic brings it down to the 1v1, however. Cold Zero, no kit, no utility. Jumps around the corner and is in desperation. And it's gone horribly wrong once again. A 5 versus 3. It all falls apart. We said Electronic and Simple were going to be a tough match for them, but I didn't expect it to go down in that sort of manner. Even a mistake made by Simple that they block each other, but still win the round.
I feel like that's the limit, isn't it? You know, you lose 1-5 versus 3, and you can maybe try and brush that off. Second 1.5, you know, it's getting harder to justify, isn't it?
The third comes in, and that's the, like, to be fair to Cold Zero, he knew he had no options there. The fact he had no kit, no utility, he had to just hope a bit of RNG would work in his favor, jumping around the corner, shooting. Not the most ideal approach, but like I said, not many options available to him. 6-4, another eco from MIBR. A shotgun comes in the hands of Fur once again. Faster control, Edward. A little bit dicey on that, but he does manage to at least stick the landing. And the one player in front of him, it looks like he might go down here to the USP, does get the kill. He will pay the price, though, 14 HP. And at this point, if you're Na'Vi, you don't need to overcommit. You've got a nice opening pick there. You've confirmed they are eco. You've got 1 minute 15 on the clock. CTs are going to react to this. And this is why Flamey's holding that really prime position right now. He knows the CTs have to go pushing for information. There's Taco removed. And this is a perfect round from Na'Vi so far.
Yeah, I actually hate it when people play solo in lobby like Flamey is, but he found like a great position to try and limit his exposure. But normally I'm not a big fan of people being alone here on the CT side, but sorry, on the T side. But that's not bad at all.
Yeah, nice shot from Fur with a Mag 7 there. Phelps 4 HP. Has got the AK-47, however. 3 versus 2. Looks like he's going to save the AK in T-Spawn. I think that's the correct approach considering his health. AK always beneficial. You might want to give that to Taco because he plays the ramp room and it actually makes that position a lot more viable for yourself. You have the AK in the positions he's been holding. You can actually go for a proper duel then. You can go for the one-taps instead of being limited with the M4 and maybe be taken down. So I'd like to see it go in Taco's hands, but it might not necessarily.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. And for just hoping for a some sort of exit kill with Mag 7, that would obviously help out again on the economy, even though we're kind of getting a little bit late into it. Oh, range with the Deagle. Big opportunity. Could even follow it up here. Maybe he doesn't know it. Oh, yeah, long range. That was even a headshot. I never figured out how that works with the shotgun at that range, but apparently it does. So cleaning up a couple of kills towards the end. I'm not sure that's not much cause for celebration, is it? You know, it's not enough at this point.
When you're on the CT side of Nuke and you're 7-4 down, it's a hollow victory at best. You've saved a couple of weapons just to enable yourself to have a full buy here. As the match is paused once again, MIBR, the great start. They won the pistol, the second round follow-up as well, but Na'Vi just look way too comfortable on the map right now, and it does not bode well at all. As we said, we know MIBR have a strong CT side on Nuke, as their T side that has looked a little bit lackluster in the past, as they will see what they can bring together. Fallen, I assume, has a weapon drop for him. Whether it'll be the sniper once again is yet to be seen, but the Augs are out, and that's where they found their initial success.
Henry, how come no aggressive pushes towards that red container from the CT side?
That's a good point. That's actually a very common play in the top teams these days. On the CT side of Nuke, you'll see Astralis, players like Glaive, for example, being an absolute nuisance up there.
Yeah.
Making sure he's on the T red almost. He's right beneath the silo and making things very uncomfortable. I'd like to see one of those plays come in. You can justify 2 rifles out there just to change the setup up, and we'll see if Fallen will be able to make this work. For the first time, the AWP goes outside. Remember, he went to the ramp before, and he'll be tested as well. Electronic making his way out there. Usual smokes coming through to allow himself to get positional control. And the objective here is to get Electronic towards the secret steps. We'll see if they're successful in their approach.
Certainly all setting it up, and Zeus coordinating the battle out here. You could see him just looking around to see if everyone was in position for the smokes, and they certainly were. So we're going to start to pour those in. Plenty of time on the clock. Actually, not going to go for the wall of smokes. Instead, just a single flashbang. I mean, they don't have many grenades, so I guess they want to try and save on them, but that is such a risky play to try and make your way past the whole yard with nothing really covering you. You know, it's just pre-fired by Electronic to try and get somebody off that corner. That's interesting. Nobody been found yet by Fallen. He's been sort of just covering one angle.
I feel like Fur is almost limiting himself. Like we discussed already, this doesn't suit his playstyle. He's not finding kills from these positions. I feel like maybe he's being a little bit too tentative at this point. I'd like to see him at least challenge every other round and maybe stop them getting towards Secret, but Edward will open things up. That's Felt removed, and see if they can recover this one. Fallen in such a compromised position here. Almost nails a shot. That's his bread and butter usually, but a little bit too fast on the trigger. Edward will find another 5-on-3, this time in favor of Na'Vi, as coldzera maybe cowering in the corner. 1 kill should be everything he gets. Is simple somehow detects the threat towards Event, but does not look too happy about the situation. Just waiting towards lower as the bomb's planted. The round is absolutely guaranteed for Na'Vi at this point.
Sometimes you wish you could go and, you know, ask the team directly, is this a question of first sort of saying, actually, I'm not really feeling the aggressive play style right now, or is it a team decision to say, listen, we need you to hold back and be a little bit more safe down here? Be fun to know exactly which route they're going for here. 5 in a row, as you could tell by their logo catching fire there for Na'Vi. They're doing an excellent job. And I mean, if you're Fallen, you're not really meant to ever be in that position where, like, you're actually not covering yard, you're just covering the silo, and you don't have anyone covering you that could stop them from getting close. It seems like the worst of all worlds.
Yeah, it's having almost no impact at all as AWP, and Fallen's trying to rectify that right now with the outside push. We wanted to see it, Anders, and finally, this is looking much better. The opening kill from Fallen. They have bought what they can. You can see SMGs, shotguns, deagles. They need to make these rounds work, and Fallen with the AWP gets that pick. Finally, a bit of confidence shown from the Brazilians there. It's the first aggressive move we've seen them make on Nuke so far. It's been such a defensive game from them. They have a 5 versus 4, but that's not necessarily good news considering the way this game's gone for them. 3 5-on-3s have slipped away.
Yep, need a little bit more here. Good position once again. Taco wants to go for the repeat. That might, yeah, it's probably better to fall back at that point. But exactly the kind of play that we just saw, and Mike, oh, that's so close. But that is the kind of play that I associate with Brazilian Counter-Strike, and that's what I want to see all the time, pretty much, you know?
It's absolutely true. They've got a certain flair to their gameplay, and we're not seeing that so far, but that's a positive sign at least. Is Taco, no stranger to the Deagle, will be trying to answer back here, but not going to be the case. He goes down, and that's the lower bomb site now completely compromised. Phelps just a shotgun, can't deny really anything at all. He's hoping players come towards the window, has to go to the USP. It works out. Simple was low, so at least they have the man advantage for now. That gives up his position, shotgun in hand, and now 19 HP. They're going to have to really get their skates on here because they have no utility to get this defuse going.
Yeah, it's all on this, isn't it? Flamey going to be denying the first entry. Fallen picking up 1 more kill.
How do they make it in? One more for Fallen. Somehow picks up a triple in the round, but still not sure it's going to be enough here. 1 versus 1 at the end. Cold Zero versus Sousa needs to try to buy time. What a run. Cold Zero with the UMP, and I think he's going to have just enough time for it, even without the kit. It's going to be real close, but that is a real entry into the bomb site, and it comes down to the last second when you hear that tick.
It felt like Zeus had done enough there in the 1v1. He was just desperately trying to stay alive. I thought he had done it, but Cold Zero looked absolutely calm with the situation, manages to get the full defuse in. He saves the AWP, and they have a second bite of the cherry here. That round was absolutely massive. If they let that one go, I feel like this game is done. But now some signs of life here as we get into round number 14, the tail end of the first half, of course. AK's out, no problem for Cash whatsoever on the T side. We'll see the final AK purchase there. Simple just with a Glock. There's the AK. It took a little while to get there, but finally they are fully equipped. Fallen changing position once again, this time towards the main entrance. Starting to get into the groove of things now. Maybe it's not too late after all. A couple of kits available to them as Na'Vi set up the outside smokes. Remember, they don't necessarily have to commit off these. You just want to be throwing them every single round, so it's difficult to tell exactly what you're doing. Sometimes you can drop the smokes and send 4 players down, sometimes 1 or 0, and go forward and up an execution. We'll see as Fur finally looks like he's got a bit of confidence here. Not just holding back with the incendiary, he's holding the secret steps and he's hunting for kills.
Yeah, really like seeing it. And again, it's Fallen to open up the round, so I really appreciate this. And I mean, he's going to get the kill, and he's going to be immediately completely transferred out of that position. It makes it so hard for the T side to know where they're going to have to look for that AWP. And there's the aggression you were talking about. Henry Fur going to be taking down Electronic. That's 3 on 5 now. Surely, Henry, not a third time. They can't possibly lose this one.
Well, time will tell. I don't want to say it's impossible, but we'll see. Cold Zero up, holds position, spots one towards the heart. No damage inflicted, but it gives up his spot. 40 seconds remain, and Simple alive. Anything can and will happen. He's waiting for the smoke to dissipate towards the squeaky door as Edward will almost essentially bait his teammates here. He wants them to show their move first, and he'll come in for the backstab here, but it looks like his teammates are dropping as Simple tries to recover the situation. It looks like MIBR have done it. They've got 2 rounds in a row.
It's looking very good. Edward going to pick off 1, still just 17 seconds, and going through the smoke is so dangerous. 1 good headshot, great follow-up, but again, only 10 seconds left here, and he just doesn't know it. Cold Zero is right there, but again, you know.
He felt it for a second there.
Definitely getting worried.
Yeah, the fact that Simple got the double kill towards up and his player towards the hut as well. Maybe if he had 10 more seconds, he could have checked that position, but not going to be the case. Money's actually pretty low for Na'Vi here in the final round, so there's the shot from Fallen. Last couple of rounds really coming to life, and Fur actually showing us what he's capable of towards the secret steps there. Phelps with a nice kill towards the vent. Fallen finally coming online here. They can get this last round. Certainly not a done deal for Na'Vi, but they're still in a fantastic spot. The fact they win the half on the T side is excellent. 4 pistols, 1 AK, and Fur actually doing it, Anders. He just needed to get a few rounds under his belt. This is what we want to see. It's what we've come to expect from this young man. But Electronic's already made it down towards Secret, but maybe Fur is well aware of that and looking for a big play.
It's just listening inside of the smoke. It's going to disappear just at the perfect time. There's nobody to shoot Fur in the back either, so yeah, that was clinical, wasn't it? Phelps is going to be getting a kill as well. Simple finally picking off 1 player in return. Still a 2-on-3. Simple with the AWP and just 23 health, so there's really no room for error for him here.
He's just holding with the shotgun-style AWP right now, but out of the vents he goes, looking to focus on that lower bomb site. Now, how much CT presence is there as Taco is currently on the catwalk? Very common position, sitting in the corner. You can't be spotted from Decon, of course. No hold as Zeus tries to get some intel away. This all comes down to timing.
He can shoot
away
through.
For 1 second. That could be it, but yes, you're right. Could have gone for the wall bang. Not going to happen. And there we have it. 8-7. MIBR finally looking like a strong team towards the end there, Anders.
Definitely picked it up, and I mean, it turned out it was just back to the roots a little bit, trying to see if they can get a little bit more aggression outside, Fallen with some of those AWP shots, and overall just looked like they found a little bit of that spirit that we were lacking. Liked Phelps being aggressive, liked Fallen with the AWP. Wish we could have seen that earlier on.
Well, it wasn't too late, at least. Like, 7 rounds is certainly not ideal, but the fact it's still a competitive game, they won the pistol in the first half, they can do that in the second. It's a very punishing map. If you don't get a good start on the CD side, you don't get comfortable, you could definitely go down 5-0 to kick things off. So they do need the pistol here, absolutely. It is a best of 1, but the fact the team actually looked like they're getting to the swing of things towards the end does bode well for them. It was looking like a disastrous game. The fact they're losing so many 5-on-3s, it does happen occasionally, but it crushes morale in these sort of games, especially when you know you're the underdog on this particular map. Na'Vi in great form right now, and Simple is just styling on you in those key rounds as they discuss their options here. Hello, Anders.
Hello. How are you doing, Henry?
Should adjust my cable.
Well, listen, it's day one. We'll sort it out. We'll figure it all out.
I'm new here.
We've got the lights on as well now. Don't even worry.
What's been your favorite moment so far? I like the crater from Edward. That was pretty fun.
That was good, wasn't it? Yeah. And he almost did it a second time. I think that aggressive round from Fallen. That was the kind of. I mean, I actually think Fallen is one of the most entertaining AWPers to watch in the world when he does that. So actually, anytime I'm watching Fallen not do that, I'm just sort of.
A little bit sad?
Yeah, I sort of want to. I wish I could sort of push him to it. It's like, come on.
Absolutely. In this sort of matchup as well, you want to see the best out of everyone.
Yeah.
So much talent on the server right now. And yeah, I feel like Fallen, the fact he got those really important kills towards the end, he can still have impact on the T side. The problem is the AWP not as beneficial. It's not a map where the AWPers really kick off there. You saw Simple pick up the AWP, I think once, didn't really find any success with it, but the rifle spoke for itself, absolutely. And the pistol is really important here. We saw a very basic approach from Na'Vi in the first half. They did 5 sets of Kevlar and rushed outside. I can't say I've seen many teams with that approach before. It makes sense because the CTs are assuming you go towards outsiders, you're going to smoke down there, and they won't really give much attention towards that position until the smokes and utilities been used. So they're trying to suggest that nothing's happening out here, then a big surprise attack towards the end.
I feel like in the pistol round, to start the whole game with, they were actually rushing yard, weren't they, from the T side?
Yeah.
And I feel like what they were doing is every time somebody would try and fight them, they would sort of all stack up and just try and Glock them at long range.
They fumbled it a little bit, right?
They fumbled a little bit.
Falling over each other, couldn't find the frags. Obviously, at range, the USP is always going to be king in that scenario. And I feel like once they got spotted, they didn't want to take those jewels at all. All they had to do was just stay on course towards the secret steps area. They didn't have the advantage yet. It felt like it kind of slowed them right down, essentially lost in the round. But either way, they still managed to bounce back. In round number 3, AKs came out, and that's when their success really started to mount. They looked excellent. They had a nice mixture of slow and fast gameplay. They knew when they were up against the ecos, the pistols coming through, they slowed it right down. They waited right back in the lobby, towards outside, not pushing anything. Get that one kill, and then calculating the situation and go together. And it looks like the second half is ready to go, Anders. I'm excited. Let's see what kind of buy we have here. One smoke, a flashbang, and a P250 for Cold Zera. He's got that God buy with the armor as well. So it's all about the range for him and trying to find the opening kill.
Yeah, I would love it if they tried to actually bait a fight out on that yard as well, because the CT players might sort of, be under the false illusion that they're going to have the range advantage, and that P250 could definitely do just as well. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of pressure here on the ramp. Oh my God, they're really quick through. They just ran right past, putting a lot of pressure here on the Na'Vi side. So MIBR continuing where they left off. A lot more pressure, a lot more flair in their game right here as Zeus actually will pick off one, and just like that, it all crumbles. Just headshots raining in left and right here. 4 of them in a row, and a 5th one to cap it off with. That's a real mood killer, isn't it, Henry?
Yeah, those tight choke points towards the ramp, they can be a real doozy sometimes. They had excellent movement as they bounced out of that tight choke point at the ramp. It looked so good for MIBR there. They get full ramp control, but all of a sudden, 5 kills out of nowhere. And as you mentioned, all headshots as well. Very clinical stuff. A much needed round there for MIBR. And do they decide to force them in the second and get the Deagle armor out, or get the AKs in the third, like we saw from Na'Vi? It looks like they'll go for the latter here. So that's going to guarantee double digits for the CIS squad. Electronic towards the ramp for now, but actually going to focus towards Secret. He's rotating right down there as Zeus with the prime weapon for the ramp room. In this sort of scenario, up against Glocks, no armor, he can farm a lot of cash if they come towards the spot.
It always feels amazing, doesn't it?
It really does. If you know you're going to hold a position like ramp, they've got Glocks, nothing else. Oh, it's tempting. You want to push, you want to get stuck in, but you got to stay disciplined, Anders. And I know you struggle with that, but something we're going to work on this weekend.
Yeah, I would definitely struggle with it. Even more so if I was the captain of the team like Zeus is, and nobody could, second guess me. Say it's all part of the team. Looks like he's going to get everything he wanted, even though he was playing patiently. Going to pick up 4 kills just like that.
No ace, unfortunately. Fur will be outside. He's going to deny absolute glory here for Zeus, but the final kill will come through any second now. There it is, another clean sweep. And this is much better for Na'Vi. Remember when we went into the first half, went into this first gun round, and MIBR had what? 3 or 4 MP9s, I think it was, as scouts. So they've got a much healthier bio on the Na'Vi side. They've got, 4 rifles, 2 of which are AUGs, 1 MP9. So they're in a much better spot than MIBR was in the same scenario. Here's Zeus really getting it done with the MP9. So great work by him. 4 kills picked up. Finishes things off there with the USP. Farms a massive amount of cash. He holds onto the MP9, though. He's looking to the future. Yeah, he wants to make sure that his teammates are well equipped going forward. He'll throw the initial smoke and hold towards the ramp room as Burr will swallow a grenade at the start. Doesn't take too much damage, just 26. Could have been a lot worse. And now we'll see what kind of approach MIBR presents in their C side. The first gun round for them here as they line up the outside smokes.
Nothing crazy coming out so far for the defense. Thought for a minute it looked like Zeus were about to push up, but he's actually sticking around. Simple, easily able to fall back and save him if too much pressure starts to happen. He's got that AUG, so could probably pick up a couple of people. They've made a lot of noise outside, but sort of feels like they might try and see if they could just try and crunch that A-bomb side. Yeah, that's going to be the smoke for heaven. And let's see if Fallen can try and actually get down Mini quick. No, he's going to go the other way, it seems. Now they're going to try and see if they can make their way through. Just a minute here on the clock as Fur picks up 1 kill, but this is looking really good for the offensive side. Phelps and Cold Syrup picking up a kill each in return, and now they've got everything going for them. 4 versus 2, the bomb is going to be going down. What a great execute.
Yeah, that was really beautiful, actually. The fact the smokes were so on point, they had great trade potential as well. The timings on the flashbang enabled them to get out of the squeaky door, and indeed the hut at the same time. No access for the CTs from main entrance. It was a really, really well done execution towards the upper bomb side. That's what we wanted to see from MIBR, and they've delivered here. 4 AKs up against the AUG of Electronic and Zeus's MP9. Remember, he's got loads of cash here, and probably can't win the round at this point, but if he can steal away a rifle, maybe get another frag and make things uncomfortable, that would be great. As he holds up now, just trying to see if anyone's still on the bomb side. Going to take a couple of players down with him, potentially. He can see the AK on the bomb side floor. He wants to ideally get out of the bomb side blast and then jump in to pick it up. So we'll see if that's even possible. In he goes. He's spotted the AK, like we said, and he gets the AUG instead. That's absolutely fine. So he actually saves the rifle instead of the SMG. They take 2 of those into the next round. They've got plenty of cash, and that's from the previous round. Remember, he got the 4K of the MP9. He can now drop an AUG for Simple, so it definitely works out in terms of his planning for the future.
Part of me was hoping that Fallen was going to try and go for one of those really quick sort of mini rushes. I really enjoyed when people get up on the silo quick and they're in mini almost before the CTs even know what's going on.
Those are really cool. Those upper splits with 3 players going towards main entrance, they are a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, Simple, the AWP, going for aggressive plays is also quite exciting as well. He'll be holding up towards outside, focusing on the T boxes for now. You can see he can swing back towards squeaky door if required. This looks like an upper play though from the T's, at least right now. MIBR setting up some basic smokes, but no real presence there. Looks like it'll be a bit of a bait. So like we said, drop the same smoke, suggest there's a chance you go towards outside, but this won't work out because Simple has full vision outside. That essentially does nothing for them, almost nothing. Because that gap, he knows no one's crossed.
It's a level of control that we just didn't really see out of MIBR when they were playing on the CT side. I mean, Fallen had the AWP out in the yard a couple of times, but it never really felt like they had that kind of control. You see without the X-ray on that, Edward can't see anything through that smoke. Phelps is on the other side. What a standoff.
Yeah, that's fascinating. But MIBR made that sort of mistake there. Those smokes was wasted. Edward will get the first frag though. Nice shot. He's been playing very well, I have to say. And we'll see now a 5 versus 4, and towards ramp they go. Zeus, not the primest of the positions. You can see it's going to be a little bit tricky for him. If he even gets 1 hit, it will be fine, and that's the kill he needed. Absolutely stepped up and required. He's on for a 3rd here, and it's in front of him. He absolutely had the chance. He gets the 4 versus 2 at least, and it's at the Fallen and Fur now to try and get that bomb down towards lower. Is it just a straight up open plant? He will go towards a silo. Flamey can open the door though, take him down, deny everything, and essentially win the round. Great stuff from Zeus there. MIBR with a little bit of a chaotic round there. A few mistakes made. Gave Simple all the information he needed, and they could stay strong in their positions. Didn't have to worry about lower at all because Simple has said there's no chance they're getting towards secret steps at all.
I really want to give a, sort of a warning or a bit of advice for any, aspiring up-and-coming pros watching the stream and looking at that play from Zeus. I want you to try and look at that round and just try and remove it from your memory. just actually try and forget about it if you can.
It wasn't the prettiest, I'll say that much. Like the fact he was in that position was actually an okay spot. There's the fact he started firing, then had to move and drop down into the most awkward position you can really imagine at ramp room. The fact he gets 2 kills, I don't think he can believe it himself. This was actually much more calculated. Edward waiting for that smoke to go down. And Edward, to be fair, he does a great job considering the circumstances.
I honestly feel like because he sort of got spotted up there to begin with, and then he stumbled off the box.
Yep.
I feel like MIBR must have been thinking, "There's no way that he's going to stick around after that." Like that, that was so clumsy. He must have fallen back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still here.
It wasn't by design at all. But there's the initial kill. It's going to be an exchange though. Taco, great job, and Fallen with the P250 doesn't find the kill, but Phelps certainly does. 4 versus 3, much faster in their approach now. But Edward prime spot to get a couple of kills here. Nails the first. Can he find anything more? Doesn't have to. It's Simple for the HE grenade, and down towards lower they go. The 2 versus 2. Fallen only with the PT-50 here. coldzera goes to the plant. It looks like it'll be a successful one, and Simple will have their rifles.
They're getting much smarter this round than you would expect here, MIBR. I mean, this is a lot of production for, having almost no equipment to start with, so that in itself is pretty exciting. Edward down low as well. coldzera and Fallen left. Definitely a scary duo to be up against. And MIBR fighting to get back in this game right now. This would be such a big round. Simple, not afraid to make a lot of noise. That smoke probably a little bit annoying to him. He's going to try and see if he could force the shot from somebody waiting inside. Flashbang is just absolutely perfect. Sets it up for the kill on coldzera. And now it's Fallen sneaking back around. The bomb is planted in his vision. He gets used. Only got a couple of seconds left. Opening up the door. He can't see anything inside. And oh no! 1 second too late as Na'Vi picks up the round anyway. He had everything going. I mean, he had the lineup. Different weapon would have done it, surely.
A great play. Just the minutiae there, the separating from victory and defeat. You can see he does everything so well. Every bullet hits. He couldn't have done anything more. And they still bring the fist bumps in. They know that was tantalizingly close. A little bit gutting. He doesn't get it, but still, job well done for Fallen. It's going to be 12-8. It certainly affects the finances of the CT side, and they'll have a full buy here, but they'll take a tactical timeout just to discuss their options. They've got an average of about 4K. You can see 3,500 on coldzera. Really not ideal scenes for them here as they'll throw over the AK.
Well, look at what it does, though, to the Na'Vi economy. Winning a round like that in a, with actually nobody surviving is that's really crushing. So if they can turn this around, MIBR, and win this next round, they might be able to roll that a little bit further.
The reason it's so crushing as well, because for winning a round by defuse, you only get $3,500 as your reward, right? So that's not enough by any stretch for a full CT5. Obviously, they had residual cash from their previous victories, but a few compromises made. You can see Electronics got the MP9 here. They don't have a full array of utility, but it's pretty decent. This round will break them if they give it up, and we'll see if MIBR can at least get them on the ropes. A couple of Galils here. Far from ideal, as Fer will be looking for the first pick towards outside. They really need to get more outside control here. So far, it's not really been that exciting towards that part of the map, as Fer shows a little bit of presence there, but he is essentially alone. They have not used their smokes just yet. They've got 4 of those still up, and there's the second. But Edward, this is what we wanted to see from the Brazilians in the first half. He could actually push all the way to T-spawn now, and once again, they drop smokes outside, but do nothing with them. They've got really nothing out of this. Edward is confirmed, outside completely clear. Hold your positions. No one has to rotate at all. Hold strong towards upper and ramp.
Yeah, even that smoke that coldzera put out that lands all the way over by the windows by Hell does nothing. They know that's just sort of a bit of a decoy. It might actually reinforce their belief that something else is going to happen. Grenade right at the feet of a couple of players. Not a bad start here for Zeus. A minute on the clock, and he's going to get traded pretty fast. So at least they have a bit of control here, but I think Na'Vi know what's coming.
I think you're absolutely right. They'll have to head down towards lower here, and look who's waiting for them. It's Mr. Simple. Takes Taco down, and he isn't done just yet by the looks of things. Does he want to push the smoke? Oh, he might not have to. Flamey arrives on the scene of the crime. Simple does come out in the end. 3 versus 2. 40 seconds remain. Fer and Fallen with all to play for. Fallen's got upper control of this stage, so still a few more twists and turns in this round yet.
If only he had the bomb, that would certainly be the ultimate scenario at the moment. How do they get the bomb planted in a 2v3 with this little time left? They can't really sort of fake it out much. They actually just have to go for it, and it looks like they've got enough map control to actually do that. That in itself is impressive, although now they're sort of locked in here. And Fer, I mean, they're going to be coming from every which angle. Tries to put out the grenade. Hard to say that he could have played that in a lot of different ways. Wouldn't say that it was really a requirement for Simple to rush through the smoke.
No, it wasn't, but that's the Simple way, Anders. I don't know why you're calling him out like that. He does what he wants. This is Simple server.
Yeah, I know.
Just play here. That's it.
You never feel comfortable questioning anything this map does, right?
You're putting yourself out there when you start saying, well, Simple really dropped the ball on that one.
Just saying, at my level of matchmaking, I certainly would have played that differently, Henry. That's really all I'm trying to point out.
13-8, MIBR will have enough for a buy once again. They pretty much have to go into this one. They've got enough for a Fallen AWP, but as you mentioned, not necessarily the best weapon to operate with on the T side of Nuke. This one is getting a little bit dangerous. I can definitely see the problems MIBR have on their T side of this map. The outside plays, we've seen it twice now where they've wasted smokes and not actually got anything from them.
Yeah, and those wasted smokes, I mean, it's one thing that Na'Vi know, but MIBR might not even know that they're wasted. Like, they don't actually have that.
I don't think that they'll have to watch this demo back.
Yes.
Just watch and see, like, okay, we've dropped the ball, what, 2 or 3 times on the T side here. The fact that they get all the information they need from one player playing outside and our smokes having huge gaps in them, I feel like that's going to be pretty gut-wrenching to watch back and see how this one went down. But there's the smokes again. This time Fer making sure that nothing can be seen. Remember that gap towards outside again. I'm not sure if they've got as much control. Electronic, same situation. For now, he's saying there's nothing outside. There's just one player there. Good flashbang, actually. It's going to push right into the cubby hole as they go for an upper play here. Will this work out for them?
Good flash through the ceiling. Edward still can see a lot down here in him. And Simple are going to combine for a couple of kills. That is even the bomb dropped on the other side of the hut here. So that's going to be really tricky to recover. And there's 3 people defending that one position. That's not going to work out well.
No, it's really not. 4 versus 2, no utility and no control. The bomb is down. A desperate wallbang attempt there, and it's actually fallen. It takes the majority of the damage, down to just 2 HP. Fur is done for. He won't anticipate Electronic's positioning here. It's too strong. It's going to be 14 rounds on the board as Flamey confirms things here. MIBR needed more rounds on the CT side, I think. From what we've seen so far, they needed to win both pistols and have a really strong CT side to really stand a chance here. Na'Vi just looked way too clinical.
Yeah, they've been looking excellent so far. The fact that Simple has got 24 kills and just 14 deaths is...
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? He's only played 22 rounds. I mean, we're heading into the 23rd now, so...
They've got that great upper execution, though. We've only seen it once, right?
Yeah.
These defaults aren't working out. We haven't really seen a convincing bomb plan yet. We've had 1 2-on-2 situation that was really brought out of over-aggression from Na'Vi. We need to just, I think, when the rounds are going this badly and you're not really working together and it's all of compromised positions, I feel like executions and set pieces, that's what you need to be focusing on right now. Let's try and overwhelm that upper bomb site. Outside, when we're sending one player out there, is doing nothing for us. We're not tricking them at all. We're actually giving them free information with these plays and wasting our own utility. So that's what I want to see. I hope Zeus has kind of drove that point home. Let's just focus on what was working. That execution, we've done it once. It was fantastic. They had no chance in it. Simple dropping that outside smoke, and you can see that's to block CT side incendiary to block the smokes outside. And this is looking good for an execution. Go throws the smoke towards main entrance, but will they get anything more?
They're trying to see if they could flank around. I mean, they had that one position that Flamey was in, but as they tried to make the flank and the kill on him, they just got shut down from upper, and a little bit more wall banging coming through. Oh my god.
What's going on? How have they not got a single kill? It looked like the prime position there towards main entrance to get the trade at least, but this is round 15, no problem. Phelps, just a Galil, 5 versus 1, and then it's doubling down with the incendiaries, all the flashbangs, absolute hell for Phelps. He's smoked off as well. This is just absolutely done. There's nothing he can do here. The best case scenario, he picks up an AK, but down he goes. It's going to be match points for Na'Vi and MIBR. They were brave to play this map, I have to say, and it's not worked out for them.
I think wasn't Nifty saying on the desk that he'd really like to see an Astralis and Na'Vi finals? I mean, at the current pace for Na'Vi, at least, that looks like it could be a really, really fun game for sure.
This has been anything but for the Brazilians, I'm afraid. Money is going to be an all-time low. They have to buy Galil's UMP, 1 AK-47. And is this the upper play once again? They've done the flashbang, just trying to bait out some utility by the looks of things. No one committing off that. Towards Squeaky they go, and that's the first kill picked up. Flamey with no vision, no right to find that first frag. And Edward, look at the confidence now. He's really feeling it. He's actually going towards the ramp room. That's a guaranteed frag. Taco will have no idea that this is coming. Not the cleanest, but they all count. And at this point, you want to fall back. You do not want to fight anymore. Let's just confirm this game done.
I don't know if there's anything to do at this point. Simple finding a frag outside there against Fur. I mean, it started off really well for Na'Vi, but the finish here for them is just almost flawless, isn't it? Looking very good.
Yeah, this is absolutely done, I'm afraid. Phelps, Cold Zera, 1 smoke, 1 flash, UMP, Galil. Do I need to add any more variables in there, Anders? Do you think that does it?
I think it paints a great picture, Henry.
A grim picture for them, unfortunately. Phelps, little head we plucked off, and that's going to be a Cold Zera. Left in a very compromised position. They now know exactly where he is. The bomb's down. They could even throw a few players at him just to try and close this one out quickly. You can hear the chat. I think that's maybe the GGs being exchanged at this point.
Preemptive GGs.
You don't like those ones. If you're in a clutch especially and they're typing the GGs out, you really don't like to see that. But a really, really beautiful way to kick up the tournament for Na'Vi there. They lost the pistol to kick things off. But their T side, it looked like it was calculated. They had great executions, nice mixture of pace as well. And those key mistakes from MIBR really cost them quite a lot of the game.
Yeah, really, really not the best performance from MIBR early on, but Na'Vi looking great. We're going to send you over to Stream C to catch up that games. Stay tuned.
Being very aggressive, working alone, mercenary, and still coming out on top. Rush, the very consistent pit player, goes ahead and puts one together. Device just barely dodges the nade, and Golden goes ahead and takes Device out. So could be another confident anti-eco in here. Automatic will clean up the scraps. Now Zipix with the CZ. All alone. 40 seconds up. And I'm gonna have to wonder how he'll pull this one off.
Ooh, if you guys are just tuning in now, we've just got ourselves some new viewers, Launders. A fresh batch joining us here on the C stream. What you guys are watching was Cloud9 on a 5-10 first half. Astralis looking like they were going to close it, but Cloud9 starting to get a little bit of control in this, well, comeback situation. There's the 9th one versus just the Pistols. We were just giving praise to Golden because he has caught up to Timothy Taw. 44 frags between the two of them. And now we'll have them buying fully, op included. Astralis? Well, they've still got some decisions to make.
Yeah, the first half was kind of all about Banana, and Cloud9 started off with a 4-1 lead. Astralis won 5 rounds in a row, became on fire, and then from there, confidently closed out the half. And in the second half, it's been kind of about Banana as well. Cloud9, though, playing a lot more passively and still looking very confident. So we'll see if they can continue that trend. And there is Astralis, who are actually on back-to-back saves. So they've only had pistols in the last round. This round, they upgrade on a couple of pieces of armor, and apart from that, just mainly CZs. Automatic has been a key player for Cloud9 here on the CT side. Will be forced out of his position in Arch, but he's got back up and also turns around. The 180 shot with the op.
Nice. Cajun not only helping out on Arch, but then turning back around, sectioning off the lane play, which is still remaining for the time being. Debris dropped by the headshot of Cajun. 3K for him here in the anti-eco. Again, just serving as a pillar on that A-site defense, keeping his head on a swivel. And keeping Cloud9 within striking distance. We're talking a 5-round difference.
Sure, it's a and it's a brand new lineup. It's a little late to do it. They do like playing Astralis on Inferno for whatever reason. The last match they did play at Copenhagen was a close one, different lineup, but still, I think they've still got a good read on what Astralis like to do, and it's clear Astralis are struggling to find this last round. So now we're gonna have Automatic crossing mid one more time, and again, his aggression has put so many rounds together in a row for Cloud9. And he does find a small opportunity, but misses the actual shot. And this results in a reset, a bit of a stalemate, as Astralis are back to working on Banana as well as Halls.
I can't help but think to myself, like, at what point are Cloud9 going to realize how close they are to pushing this to 15-15, and then maybe start playing a little more scared? Because some of the first opening kills they've been using to make this comeback happen have been super confident. Automatic walking down middle with 0 support. You know, those sorts of plays, you make that when you're down by 10 rounds and your opponents have map point, but do you do it when you're within 5? Tends not to be the case. So now as they face a 4 versus 5 on top of that, we're going to see if Cloud9 can really work under pressure.
A lot of space created for Astralis, and they have the man advantage, which is a sight for sore eyes. If you're an Astralis fan, they have failed to do that for 2 or 3 rounds in a row now. Magisk will create some chaos over at B, throwing a standard set of utility. It could look like a cheap fake. It could mean something to Cloud9, but they've been happy to keep just Vice on that site.
There we go. Rush is going to put out the flames. So now they know he's in there. He is going to swing out wide with just 1 kill so far. A second, possibly the 3rd. He just has to hit Zipex, but he's going to buy time because that double rotate is coming over as fast as possible. And with 20 seconds, they're going to prioritize plant. Rush doesn't make his move, but won't even be given the chance. As Magisk puts him down, the immediate kill onto Golden, and it falls on the newest member, Vice. Man may lack experience, but does he lack the skill? He's got a player already pushed past him in the smoke. We've got Device and Moto, who's about to put the nail in the coffin. Astralis have done it. A 10-5 half that nearly looked like the comeback could happen, but as we know with Astralis Launders, you can bend them, you can't break them.
Yeah, maybe the most important piece of the puzzle is grabbing Automatic there, opping without a trade frag in sight. So Cloud9 losing their most important player on that final round, I don't think is a sign that you can overrate. And yeah, so Astralis finally just needed that one. They put it together.
The closest game here of the 3 rounds, it was of course a bit of a blowout with our other 2, but we will be passing this one off and being back with round 2 in just a little while.
What was the decision behind leaving that one open, Yanko?
Well, I think for us, we are comfortable playing any map in the pool. It's just all opponent dependent, right? You know, you're not going to play Nuke against Astralis, but against teams like MIBR and ENCE, you feel like that's maybe a weakness. In their map pool, we also have the benefit of not playing it in an official game yet, so people don't have any information on our game on Nuke. And for us, with this tournament and a couple of tournaments that we have coming up, we also want to use them to really see. It's going to be a lot of maps that are going to be played, so we want to see some of these maps that we, claim that we can play, or, we practice to see how good they actually are, so we can get a better read on our map pool, right? And maybe some of the maps that we haven't played as often, they might turn out to be some of our better maps, so maybe we should start picking them more often, playing them more often. So that's what we're doing here as well, a little bit of, even though there might have been a safer option, so to speak, for us to go for, or something more traditional. I mean, what's the point of practicing the map if you're never actually going to, when you have the opportunity, go and play it with MIBR? It was between Dust 2 and Nuke. For me, that was an easy choice to make, which map to play.
Now, Rain, at the end of last year, you told HLTV that one of your goals for 2019 is to hit the gym more and focus on yourself outside of the game as well as inside. And actually, yesterday, I saw you pumping some iron in the gym.
That is true. I've been doing it for 3 months now.
How is it going?
It's going good, yeah.
There's 20k on the line. It's not chump change, for sure.
No, definitely not. Taco just removing potential.
Alexi doesn't look far off. He gets it! No, he didn't get it. Oh, barely. So close.
So,
Surfing, tell me.
There we go.
Surfing USA.
Here we go, the KZ start.
Oh, he doesn't expect it. Now he's got a chance to tackle. He flicks in time. 4-4. 11 to 8 total. This map, and that is what makes me oh so excited. If anyone's feeling spicy, let's not forget, you get a knife kill, you are, oh there we go, I can hear it. But if you get a knife kill, you instantly win your round. And there's another one, that's twice. Ariel just...
Your Albert.
Yeah, I mean both of them so very, very impressive.
And if I'm not mistaken, they don't have a secondary weapon.
He's straight from the serve.
Yeah, I love it.
Trying to get that showmanship. Oh, that is not blowing my mind, I'll tell you that now.
Inching closer here now. Bird probably needs to close it out.
Oh! Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I just took a big shot of helium.
Yeah.
To Blast Pro Series Miami, and the first round is one and done. A, B, and C streams, they're all complete, and now we get to talk about just what happened on Nuke between MIBR and Na'Vi. I mean, well, it went as we were predicting, essentially, boys. Nifty, for me, I was always told that Nuke was a CT-sided map, and yet it was kind of looking like Na'Vi were turning it into a T-sided one.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi was doing an incredible job at throwing the outside wall smokes and not even sending different numbers there every time. Like Electronic was doing a very great job at getting into secret and pressuring Fur. You noticed probably on the CT side, Fur was down in secret every time, holding that molly just to stop the aggression in secret. And then afterwards, they were just so good at coming back up outside, smoking off Mini, and squeezing the outside player and getting around to Heaven and Hell and going through Mini and coming outdoor, things like that, and just pinching them in the upper bomb site after doing the outside presence.
Oh, no, I agree. I think they did a very good job, and we saw the difference of basically of class between Na'Vi and MIBR on Nuke is because once the first exchanges happened, and it's maybe a 3 versus 3 or 4 versus 4, then Na'Vi, they would find the way back into the round. And MIBR, they really never converted their power plays. We talked about in the defining factor, they are supposed to win these rounds when they have the advantage, and that wasn't the case. Simple was in the hub picking frags, electronic ramp, picking up frags, and suddenly a situation that is used to be for the Brazilian turned out for Na'Vi. That's basically how they build that very good T side.
Do you feel like there are glimmers of hope, though, for MIBR on that T side, Nifty?
On Navi's T side?
On MIBR's,
on MIBR's T side.
They actually got some bomb
I think so, yes. Actually, I was talking with Maniac, and there was a few times where they got the bomb down, actually. They just weren't able to convert the rounds. I did feel like they could have grinded more rounds outside. And then maybe go into like upper pops or, you know, and upper executes and things like that. Because again, just like kind of like what Na'Vi was doing, showing that outside presence and squeezing the rotations and making them move and making them feel uncomfortable on Nuke is the most important part, because communication is super hard on Nuke. You know, you have to know lower. Are they lower? Are they upper? Where are they, right?
Now, it did feel like MIBR had a plan at the beginning, and they were getting these bomb plans. They were getting into these possible situations. But I think they needed to win these first rounds to then have a follow-up. And that is the hardest part on Nuke, is to go with an A plan that doesn't work and still find rounds. And I don't think MIBR had that going to that game.
Well, we have got an interview with one of my favorite faces in Counter-Strike, the wonderful woman that is Smix. She is going to be talking to Simple. So let's find out what they've got to say.
Congratulations, Simple. You're starting off the tournament here at the Blast Pro Series Miami with a fantastic win. I know that you have been very open about the fact that sometimes Na'Vi doesn't have the greatest start at events, so it has to feel good to reverse that here.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels okay. Like first best of one, Nuke, our okay map, not a MIBR map for sure. So we were a bit confident about this, but still, we knew that they will prepare really good, and we have a slow start always, so we were more prepared, I guess.
And as you just mentioned, Nuke is a map that MIBR only recently picked up. So did that affect how you guys prepared for it, or did you just decide to play your own style in your own game on Nuke?
We just saw their games, and we see that they're not doing something special like other teams because they don't have so much experience like us or other teams so on this map. So it was more easy to prepare for them than for Astralis, for example. But still, yeah, it was a good match. We knew their favorite rounds. They didn't do it, so just, I don't know what happened with their game, but it's okay.
And obviously, always eyes are on you. Everyone is always talking about Simple being the best player in the world. Coming off of this win you guys just had at Star Series, I know recently you said in an interview that sometimes when the team loses in the group stage, you have a lot of questions like, am I on the right team? Do I need to change anything? But now that you guys have this championship under your belt, what has that done for you and your confidence knowing that you're part of the right team and you guys are doing things right?
It's the most important that all our team and all our players after victory in China have more confidence, and that's the most important for us right now, just to get more confidence. So with this confidence, we will have more chances to beat like Team Astralis or Liquid. And yeah, it's the main goal to become #1 right now. And we understand the way that we are doing together, and we know what we need to work on.
Well, you just mentioned it yourself, Astralis, and they're actually the team you're going to be playing in round 2. And knowing that they are the best team in the world, you know, what is the preparation like going against such a team that doesn't really look like they have much weaknesses?
It's always the same, like for any other team, but still, we're trying to see how they change their game. I mean, during the games, they always change their play style, and it's the hardest thing to play against, you know. So yeah, we play Inferno, they have 17-0, so we'll try to get our first victory. Yeah.
We'll see if you guys are able to break that streak. Congratulations again on that first win, and best of luck.
Thank you.
I think I've got to disagree with the best player in the world there, boys. Feels slightly awkward saying this, but slow start. Really, they won their first gun round. They won round 3. Then they didn't really let go, Maniac.
No, they didn't. But I think Simple was referring to as the typical Na'Vi slow start in every tournament. It was even the case in Shanghai in best of 3. So now here they started with a good game. That's very important. MIBR, not a game they could afford to lose, you know, looking at grand scheme of thing to make it to the final. So good job on them. They finally have a good start in the tournament. Could that be the one they beat Astralis? I don't know.
What do you think, Nifty?
Absolutely. I think these guys are contenders, I think, to fight Astralis down on that 17-0 lead on Inferno. But I think I don't want MIBR to get their hopes down, you know? Yeah. Fallen had a really great interview on HLTV where he talked about their process as a team, you know, and how they're feeling and their place within the scene right now. And it's like, even though you're coming to Blast Miami and you've lost the first game, I think it's important that they still focus on their process, you know, and grinding that ladder. So, you know, again, praises to MIBR.
And they've got one of the hardest matches out of the way, let's face it. So fingers crossed for MIBR going into their next round. But we need to talk more about the man himself, Simple, because he is your MVP for this match.
What can we say else? Simple, the best player in the world, once again showing up in a very good way, always finding these openings in situations where really Na'Vi are in a bad spot, and if you will give him the duel, he will take it, he will win it, and as Nifty pointed out very well, he will take the right decision. So he has that very deadly combination of the aim and the brain to make the right decision, which makes him the most deadliest player there is.
Do you think that MIBR maybe looked for duels that they couldn't win Nifty, especially with Simple in that map?
Yeah, I think they could have done a much better job at kind of corralling him into a 2v1, you know, and more of those fights, because it seems like even in 5v3s that the MIBR were losing, you know, they could have given him access into the bomb site and then have more of a crossfire or a fight together, you know, because again, like you said, Simple, if he sees those fights, he will take them. He's confident.
Well, we didn't just have a true underdog story that kind of didn't go the way of the underdog on the A stream. We also had another couple of David versus Goliath matches, and the Davids came out in full force. Astralis 16, 10 to Cloud9 on Inferno, and Team Liquid besting FaZe on Nuke. Again, another surprising pick, really, FaZe on Nuke. It didn't go well for them at the last Blast Pro Series in Sao Paulo, and unfortunately it's not gone very well for them here either. But to talk through exactly what did go down, we have got our fellow analysts over in the Lightning Breakdown Corner, as I've decided to call it. Let's head over to Vendetta and to Potter.
Thank you so much, Frankie. Yeah, so we just watched Cloud9 versus Astralis. Astralis ended up winning that match 16-10. In the beginning, though, Cloud9 did put up quite a fight, which is a little bit surprising for some, I imagine. Vice, he did show up. He's a new member of the team. He was struggling a little bit, but we've got to talk about Xyp9x's second round conversion. They were able to win that round after they lost the pistol. Xyp9x had a 1 versus 1. He had no kit, and he stuck the defuse, winning that round. Fair play to Tim. He assumed that Xyp9x wouldn't have a kit, and no one really sticks the bomb in those types of
Unless
scenarios.
you're insane.
Right. But Xyp9x, he understands that he's got that mind game edge over a lot of his opponents, and he's able to stick that bomb there. Kudos to him. Really, really spectacular plays. And we've got to talk about that 7th round from Glaive. He was able to get a huge 3-piece and eliminate Cloud9 before they even got to plant the bomb, and really beautiful play from them. And going into that second round, Dupree actually managed to win a 1 versus 4 clutch scenario for that second round conversion. Cloud9 actually almost came back and won a save round, but Dupree, wow, 1 versus 4, winning that round. Really beautiful stuff from him.
Seems like just everyone on the side of Astralis can pull them out from the brink of the feet at any given time, which is, I guess, why they're doing so well as they are.
Exactly.
Yeah, now on my side, we had FaZe going up against Team Liquid, and what I thought would be a pretty interesting matchup, but it seems like I guess the luck ran out pretty quickly for FaZe. They started off pretty well, CT side on Nuke, winning pistol, even eking out the bonus round off of a really, really cool play from Olafmeister, hiding out, just basically denying the bomb plant with 3 seconds left to go on the side of Liquid. That sets them off to a good start, but after that, things really started to go downhill. You had round 7, massive lead, you know, off the back of 2 early frags from Olafmeister and 1 from Nico. So you're sitting at a 5v2 situation on the side of FaZe, but Sui wanted it otherwise. And even if he hadn't been exactly as impactful as he was in C9 previously, he showcased that he can still do it now as well. Picking up a 4-kill, saving the round for Team Liquid, bringing them right back into it. Everything just kind of spiraled out of control from there on out. Nitro had a great game, 17 frags in the first half, and they end up winning it 10-5 on the T side of Nuke. So it kind of just goes to tell you what kind of a dominant showing we saw out of Liquid pretty much from start to finish. And swapping over to the second half, not a single T-sound round found for FaZe at all. So that was just Liquid showcasing that even if they've been away from Nuke for quite some time, still know how to play it.
Definitely.
what are your reactions to that? I'm particularly interested in what you think of FaZe. Is it too late for them to bring things back, Maniac?
Yeah, well, obviously we have Xipnik's clutches. It's becoming like a legend, like a chorus of Counter-Strike. Definitely a good prestation from Cloud9. I mean, 16-10s, not so bad. Lost a few, I would say, weird clutches, obviously. And on the other side, FaZe playing Nuke. Okay, I respect that. They want to bring it to the map pool. It doesn't seem to bode well for them at the moment. Maybe one day it's going to pay off, but for now, it feels like they're suffering from willing to play Nuke.
Yes, I'm in agreement there. It's like I felt like FaZe was probably banking on having a much better CT side, but Liquid was doing a fantastic job at kind of sticking together, splitting the lower bomb site, going upper every now and then, trading where they go on their ecos, and just getting better trades and getting better post plants and retakes and things like that. And I think Liquid was just doing a great job. And then as soon as it went to the T side for FaZe, they were kind of like, it's 10-5 and they've lost the pistol, I believe, and they just weren't really sure what to do. They tried to do the wall smokes outside and go secret a couple times, but Liquid was really good at just placing a guy in secret and then getting 2 or 3 kills. So that made it extra difficult for them to even try to grind their way back into the game.
Well, let's see what that's done to our leaderboard. 1 round down. As expected, Liquid, Na'Vi, and Astralis. Don't be fooled by that color scheme. All 3 of those are still in contention for the finals, given that we're only 1 match in. Cloud9, MIBR, and FaZe. Well, I guess completing what we were talking about actually before we went live, guys. This is really a bit of a 2-horse tournament.
It does feel like it. We have 3 top dogs of Counter-Strike undeniably here. And I think it's interesting to see everyone stepped up to the first game. We talk about how best of 1 is prone to surprises, how it's hard sometimes to begin a tournament at full speed. But here, the favorites, they really stepped up. They said, you know what, we come in here, we're going to win the first game. And pretty decisively, a 16-5, 16-8, 16-10, no business. They're here to win.
Well, we have got 1 more round to bring you, 3 more matches, in fact, tonight. So let's take a look at the schedule so we'll see who's going up against who. Oh, Astralis versus Na'Vi. This could be our final tomorrow, boys. I'm particularly excited to see what's going to happen here as they take to Inferno, which we know both of these teams, Bullerman love this map, but particularly Astralis Maniac, and they've just had a warm-up.
Yes, they did, and as Simple said in the interview, 100% win rate, how I don't know how many wins in a row. Inferno, the best. And what is crazy about Astralis and Inferno is that because of their crazy nuke record, they get to play it all the time, and they still win it, so it makes it even more impressive.
Well, we are going to head to a short break, but you've just seen the schedule, and you're not going to want to miss any of these matches. Actually, particularly the biggest underdog battle of them all, Cloud9 versus FaZe. In fact, Cloud9 versus Liquid, sorry, it's the American Derby. And then we've got MIBR versus FaZe. Do not go anywhere. Have you seen the standoff concept before?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've never watched it, but heard of it.
Yeah.
I put the map. I tested out the map a few times.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And what did you think of it?
Apart
from that it's nice.
I can't surf on the sides because my sensitivity's too slow, so I just fall off the map. But I like how you can shoot the crates up through the glass. I think that's pretty cool.
No, that's a cop-out. The best surfers have the lowest sense.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure, dude?
Yeah, they're insane.
I guess I just slept.
They use like their whole arm.
Turbine thing, right?
No, they don't use turbines.
All right, I want to see
They
their
just use like their
mouse
whole
size.
arm like this.
They just have the giant like
mouse pad.
Yeah, they're huge.
In a way, then, if you don't end up in the final, then would you be disappointed to be playing that standoff map?
No, a little bit. I told him I really wanted to play the standoff map. So let's aim for third place.
You're laughing now, but you're
The
doing the
crowd gets to
hopping.
pick it now, right? The opponent.
I think that might be the case. I'll
was like-
wait for production to confirm.
I didn't know like who picked it. Like someone's like always gonna be it, and then the other ones crowd voted.
Quite
don't know,
possibly.
I think so.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. I've heard
who
from
was
Rose,
that?
our producer,
Oh.
that's Rose,
Got a
our
voice in my
producer.
head that
You
just
all
confirmed.
get to
What is
hear
our
it.
producer's name?
Our producer is called Rose.
Thank you, Rose.
She's
Oh,
saying
hello.
hello to us now.
Where you
So
at, Rose?
she is just confirming, and Rose, you can always write the exact way that's going to turn out on my computer screen, and I can confirm it for everyone here. But we're gonna get serious, guys. I hope that's okay. Do you feel like this is a safe space? Are we in a safe space? Do you
No
trust
safe
me?
spaces
Do we
here.
trust each other? That is true, but don't tell the others. Now,
Team's dead.
Stewie,
Hmm.
do you feel settled into the team?
Yeah, I feel settled. I like the guys. It feels like we're back at home. Speaking our native language. I think that's the one thing that people kind of underestimate a little bit. But I'm pretty happy to be back. Yeah.
And what changes did you feel like you brought to the team?
Well, I've experienced both sides now. You know, the NA style, and you also experience the Brazilian style. So you kind of learn a lot, especially from Fallen, Fur, and Cold. You know, the best players, one of the best players in the world. And we're the best team at one point. So, you know how they kind of work, and you know the philosophy of the game. And hopefully I can share some of that with these guys.
Did you see any of the interview with MIBR earlier?
Yeah, I heard first talking, he's talking smack.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't take him down myself. I need you guys.
What did you think of talking some smack?
I think it's good. You know, some banter here and there. I don't know if it's personal, but if it's personal, you know, it is what it is.
I mean, they were implying that Taco and Zeus were just.
You have to bring your absolute best. That is what champions are made of. They will not go down without a fight. Putting on quite the show.
And he nails every single one. What a beast.
We have what we'd hoped for in a grand finals.
They can still do this. It is to perfection.
Hi, I'm Device from Astralis.
He goes down, Device, so powerful.
Playing against Device is quite hard. He's a very consistent player.
Device is consistent.
Device almost never has 2 bad games in a row.
At least Device going to pick up one more kill. He can do it. Oh no! One more double.
Really efficient player when it comes to just sort of doing all of the right moves pretty much at all the right times, and that makes him very, very hard to deal with.
What he does so well, and he does it consistently. He is, you know, a part of the best team ever. He is the pillar that the rest of the team is centered around.
That he's always really happy. If I should describe Device in one word, I would just use the word
This is
cool,
not visible at all, right?
Glaive calls him cool. How would you guys sum up Device in just one word, Vendetta?
Consistency.
Potter.
Cool. He's
That's a
so
cool
cool.
one. That's a good one, yeah.
Nice. I think Bacchus refers to him as Tom Cruise. That's technically 2 words, but I'll give him that if you say it really quickly. Tom Cruise. Welcome to the analyst desk.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
How are you feeling in Miami, Potter?
I'm feeling great. The weather here is incredible.
I kind of want to borrow Zeus's sunglasses. If you've seen Zeus walking around on media day here at the hotel, he's never without his sunglasses or his panda with the AK tattoo. I don't know if you guys saw Blast backstage.
Yeah.
He's very, very proud of that panda with the AK tattoo. Now, let's remind everyone watching at home what our schedule is for round 2. It's our final 3 matches of the day. We're going to be breaking down Astralis versus Na'Vi shortly. And we're also gonna have our lightning breakdown for FaZe versus MIBR and Cloud9 versus Liquid from Maniac and Nifty very shortly. In fact, I believe they might be ready for us right now.
Oh yeah, we are. Hello, hey, hello. Thank you, Frankie. We are ready. So the first game we're going to talk about is FaZe versus MIBR on Mirage. Both teams had a really bad start. They have to step up immediately. And on the side of MIBR, I'm going to look at coldzera. To me, he hasn't showed up yet at this event. Mirage was a notoriously good map for him, especially on the CT side. He was always able to gamble on the right side and bring more numbers. And on the side of FaZe, I've been reading in his Nico interview, he said he needs his players to have more initiative. I was very surprised considering the lineup they have. And I don't know what you take of it, but with that lineup, I'm very surprised.
I am as well. You know, it's kind of a star-studded lineup, and they all are very experienced, and they're somewhat, you know, star players, right? So you would think that they would all use their instinctual plays and their mindset and their experience with the game to kind of go in and make those plays and explore and have the confidence to do those things. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I think it's weird.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, on my side, we'll have Cloud9 and Liquid going off on Overpass. I think this will be an interesting game because you don't know what to expect from Cloud9 quite yet, but Liquid, you know, much more known on Overpass, right? They're much more rehearsed, and they played many more games. So I do expect them to take it, but I'm interested in actually seeing some NAFI clutches. I love to see NAFI clutches, and you know, after C9 has a few good rounds, I think we'll just see a quick game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't really see how Cloud9 could make it work. But anyway, Frankie, what do you make of this?
I think that it's going to be a full of close matches, maybe? I don't know, to be honest. But one match that's going to be particularly close is the one we're going to have next on the A stream. It is going to be Na'Vi versus Astralis. And I'm quite curious to say, actually, what Simple has to say, because in our previous match-ready video, we saw Simple basically giggling next to Edward as he's talked about MIBR. But how is he going to react when he has to talk about Astralis?
I expect a tough match as always. I'm a bit even more nervous than I used to be.
We feel pretty confident. It's one of our best maps.
Even though you won a tournament, you made mistakes individually and as a team. We always have talks about how to improve that and make sure that we stay ahead of the other teams.
It's always nice to play against Astralis because there are really good samples how good we can be as a team. Good opportunity to improve our skills.
I think our strength on Inferno is definitely the way that we use our utility. And I know that Na'Vi's been struggling a bit on it, but I saw some of their last 5-6 games where they've been absolute beast on it, so it's going to be a tough game.
Since we're playing Inferno, which is a really good map for us, but also a good map for them, I'm confident we're going to win, but I think it's going to be 16-12 for us.
There is no overtimes. Could be 15-15 maybe. I don't know.
I think we're going to win 16-12.
16-10.
No matter the score, we just need 16.
I'm going to spend the whole night at the hotel preparing against this matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Yes.
Never a truer word spoken than that of Magisk. It's going to be a good game. In fact, it's going to be an extremely good game. And Potter, I know you've chosen two players that you particularly want to knuckle down on in the face-off. So let's see who you've chosen.
I definitely have. Of course, we have Device versus Simple. This was a pretty easy choice for me to pick. I mean, we've got Device. He is probably the best opera in the world. And when I mentioned that the one word of him being cool, I didn't just mean he looks like Tom Cruise. He's actually very cool in game. You can see it in his movements, his in-game decision making. This guy, no matter how much fire or utility is coming his way, he's going to stay calm and collected. And you can see it in his crosshair placements. He knows what he needs to do to deliver for his team. And it's absolutely impressive. And as far as Simple goes, he's almost the exact opposite, I think. I think over the past couple months, we've seen him improve, and you can absolutely see it in the stats and his trading abilities. But Simple's that flashy player, right? He is the #1 player in the world, and he knows it. So he's going to take a lot more of those riskier duels, but he actually comes out on top more often than not.
Vendetta, we've essentially got two of the top candidates for the MVP of this entire tournament facing off against each other.
Yeah, I mean, #1 and #2 from 2019. It's really that big of a clash going on, and I mean, I think it's almost fair to say that we might have the #1 team and the #2 team in the world as of right now in terms of form. I mean, Liquid might have something to say about that, but yeah, no, it's bound to be an absolutely amazing clash. I'm really excited to see how the dynamic's going to work out. Especially because Simple just continues to improve somehow, and I don't know how. I don't know how it's possible because everyone has to have a bit of a cap to their skill ceiling, but Simple hasn't really found his yet, which is so incredibly scary for anyone who has to go up against him. And I think one of the big things that we talk about Device being potentially the best sniper in the world, sometimes he can get dwarfed by Simple. Like, even if Simple's not a primary opper. So it's just so many things that can go the right way for Na'Vi. It's just going to be a monumentous task for Astralis, even though they are the #1 team in the world. And
we've been talking about Device on Astralis, Potter, but I know that you were particularly excited by dupreeh's performance on Inferno against Cloud9 as well.
I was. I mean, we just watched Astralis play Inferno, and it was so impressive. I just want to point out that Cloud9 looked good on Inferno, but they just ran out of so many options because players like dupreeh coming out with a strong 1 versus 4. If you go back and watch that round, you're going to be able to see dupreeh, just the process of elimination from him and his decision making. It's so simple, but it's so hard to do for a lot of these players.
Well, very quickly before we do go into this match, I need to ask about your defining factors on Inferno for Na'Vi, Vendetta.
Yeah, I've got to focus on Na'Vi because obviously they're the ones who have something to prove here, and fighting back is one of the key things. Astralis, one of the best teams in the world to actually win out rounds when they get the advantage. 86% round win when they get the first kill on Inferno. On the side of Na'Vi, a measly 31% when they lose the first member on Inferno in terms of fighting back. So that's definitely something they need to overcome. Astralis are never going to give them an easy round going into this matchup. So some of these things like slow starts and so on for Na'Vi can't happen if they want to have a chance of beating Astralis. Then in terms of research, you're going up against the #1 on Inferno. Like, you have so much research, so much data to work off of here. And there's a limit to how much Astralis can really change. Yes, they are taking, breaks here and there to make sure that they stay on top of all their entire map pool. But you really need to you have so much going for you in terms of if you're Na'Vi, because everyone's aiming for #1. So I think they have a bit of an edge there if they've done their research properly and might have figured out some weaknesses in the defense of Astralis.
I do have to say really quickly, though, about the research. Astralis have a little bit of a strategy, I feel. Last Blast, they played Dust 2 a lot.
Pretty much, yeah.
And now they're playing Inferno for the second time. So maybe they're not giving their opponents enough time to research.
That could very well be. And to finish it off, like the very last point that we had, next man up. Who's going to join Simple and Electronic? Is it going to be Edward? Is it going to be Flamey? But it doesn't matter who, but it needs to be someone.
We need to see that Trinity form, and we need to see it right now because Na'Vi are going to take on Astralis. It's going to be fiery, it's going to be on Inferno, and it's going to be cast by Lawners and Scrawny.
Aha, here we are, Lawners, on the tip of the stage, the tip of the iceberg, baby. And we have ourselves what I think is going to be one of the sickest matchups. We have Na'Vi coming off of their stellar performance at Star Series. Now the big question is, at an event that did not include Astralis, can they do it here in this opening best of 1?
Yeah, it's a big question. And for Na'Vi at Star Series, they had so many things going for them. Everybody was playing really well. I mean, they talked about Edward, but even Zeus was playing really well. And that's something that we'll have to continue over into this. They did beat MIBR on Nuke in the last map that we saw today, but this will be the 18th win in a row on Inferno for Astralis, and as Vendetta mentioned, could be the #2 team, #2, #3 in terms of form in Na'Vi. A really good chance here for Na'Vi to maybe pick up this map. We saw Astralis crush Ents on, we've seen Astralis crush Ents on Inferno as well as crush Liquid on Inferno, so I think there's a chance here. I think Na'Vi have definitely earned this chance.
I mean, you and I are just coming off of the cast of Cloud9 versus Astralis, and I have to say, like, I was impressed with Cloud9's play. I was impressed with their ability to get away from that dominant banana control that we always kind of praise Astralis for. They were at times playing the utility to a T, and so you think to yourself, like, if Na'Vi, a player, or a team rather, with players that we kind of glorify much more to a different level, then if they imply those same strategies, those same strengths we saw out of Cloud9, if Na'Vi can utilize them, I think we're in for one hell of a treat here on Inferno. But without further ado, folks, let's get this one started.
Yeah, we most certainly might be. Here it is, Glaive to fall back after spotting at the top of Banana, just as he's known to do. No damage has been dealt just yet, but the rotations seem hectic. There's a 3-man stack on Arch from the CTs. The Ts are lodged up in halls, and Na'Vi haven't picked a site quite yet, so you have to wonder what's going through Astralis' mind.
Electronic just puffing his chest, only showing one body towards Banana, so it's only going to elicit one of the rotators. Zipex comes over to play Coffins. And this is a deadly duo on Banana. Electronic and Simple shoulder to shoulder. But Simple's going to fall back to join Bomb.
Well, it's overstacking the site in some way. There it is. They've fallen back, but again, this Arch setup seems tantalizing for Na'Vi. They might move in on this.
This is Dupree with his face tucked into the corner. Device gets the fadeaway. Farewell, Edward. And now Zeus is going to be going for these banked grenades. However, this Arch play is not going to get activated. Bomb doubles back down Banana. And it's going to fall on Electronic and Flamey to try and get themselves into this site. But Zipex has Coffins, and we've only got 30 seconds left for Na'Vi. Another headshot comes up for Astralis. The Executioners, too strong. Bomb drop, Simple left over, and this is just a glory of a pistol round from Astralis.
From beginning to end, you couldn't see a way that Astralis could lose that round. They had a perfect setup at Arch. They got an initial kill with Device on the fade back. That Iverson headshot, that was so nice at the corner of Arch. And from there, Dupree just lodged in the corner, a smoke blocking his vision in front of him. But that doesn't matter. He can hear all the footsteps. He knows the Ts are probably going to move back. And the whole time, Astralis had 2 players on flex rotate from the archway into B. And the rotations came in, and it looked like to Na'Vi that they were stacked the whole time. So really well done from Astralis. I mean, tactically, headshots, like everything was on point, and that's the game that Na'Vi are going to have to play against all game, it seems. So now we're going to move out with Astralis to the top of Banana once again, throwing just a shy amount of utility, of a nade, a flash, and an HE, and Na'Vi are here on the pistols. They have spent quite a lot of money. Don't know if they've saved a little bit on each of their players, but they've now taken over Hall's controls at the very minimum. You can see the bomb is still back in the spawn. And they're waiting to see where the options open up. CT at the bottom of Banana could be the first point of contact for the CTs.
Nice grenade. That one goes really deep, all the way to the tip of T-ramp. But Simple tips his hat to Magis, blows his head off, and will still set up Dupree in this situation. Edward, he's going for the same banked grenades that we saw Zeus throw. Second time we've had a player in this corner, and so far not needed, but now he's gonna activate 1, 2, and nearly that third one. Edward's gonna put him down, and funny enough, this is Navi still established in a 3v2 situation until bomb gets cut off by Device. He has to watch his flank, doesn't expect Simple to be in there, and now Zipex, of course, to try and clutch.
And his spot's been refreshed, so the bomb goes to the site. Simple moved into a strong position, and he comes out with the UMP frag. So that, for a lot of reasons, was a very strange round. Now, that presence at Arch from Astralis, I thought was going to be the nail in the coffin to bring things back. Dupree there sitting once again. It shows a distinct difference from their game plan versus Cloud9. Clearly a focus on Arch here, but obviously Simple, if he's going to hit shots like that, this is going to be a long game for sure. Now, making critical play in that situation, and then shutting down the pressure of Zipex, who is no sleeper in rounds like that, is also important. So denies the 1v2 from a player that usually wins those. And Navi now will move on to Banana once again. Oh, a bad bounce on the Molotov, very unfortunate, but it's not going to cause any problems apart from them having to refresh it. And the CTs have got a double lane setup. They've only got pistols except for Dupree. So 4 men. Lanes start, and it'll come down to whether or not Navi want to scout this way, or if they move into a full execute. Very scary here on the anti-eco to try to seek out information safely. You don't want to be a fool and run to a stack site, but scouting doesn't mean that you're going to win the round. You can still lose that player and then proceed to lose the 5v4.
Zipex just going to put down that smoke, buys a bit of time. Still no rotators coming out of Astralis. First player on flex would be Device.
Yeah, for them, they're limited on information. They've got to go off of a read. What do they think Navi are going to do in this situation? They see a smoke, it can't scare them too much. They're gonna have to be
Second one could do the trick. Zipex knows he is entirely alone. Molotov's cascade over him. He's just going to hide behind box and will pick up the frag versus Zeus at the very least. So one and done on the B bomb site, and nobody else here for Astralis means a second round for Navi.
It's fine for Astralis. You know that you can take these guns into the next rounds. They can just buy it on top of them. Again, they can live since they're CTs, and the UMP might be the smallest minus here for Astralis, but there's a lot of positions that Dupree can play in. Once again, if he's going to employ the cubby, once again, he could potentially take advantage of Navi looking for Arch, and I'm really curious as to why Astralis are focusing on Arch as opposed to a lot of early B presence. Maybe they just don't feel comfortable taking on that early engagement, that entry that could come their way. So now we'll move to the next round. Bomb will go off in a few seconds. Navi will most likely recycle these UMPs. The CTs will get another chance to play, but Navi sealing back the momentum in a big way.
I think there's already similarities coming out of.
They got a good start on Nuke against Liquid, and then all of a sudden they are down with just 5 rounds to the 10 against Liquid on that first half, even though they started on the C2 side. So MIBR, no AWP for them. Might be a fast one here from Nico. Again, just playing the spawns, just like one of the previous rounds with that AWP. At Star Series, we saw some great work with him on that AWP on the T side. Going aggressive here in middle to good flashbang coming out there though. It's awkward for Fur. He can't re-engage successfully. Rain takes him down. Finding one almost through the smoke there on Connector, and FaZe off to a good start here at the beginning of this 4th round. Dren picking up one as well from Palace.
Perfect timing for Phelps, and that's high ground advantage towards the A-bomb site, and the bomb is rotating towards the ramp on its own, so if that, well, that's a dangerous situation for the bomb carrier, and in the meantime the frags continue for MIBR. Taco will fall to the flames, and that is a man advantage for FaZe Clan, so maybe things will start to change. In fact, this is a brazen play. Rain distraction, forcing Phelps back into the hands of the bomb carrier, reloading his gun as well. Surely he's done for. Perfect play, very deliberate stuff there from FaZe Clan. Works out very well indeed, and now coldzera in a 1 versus 2. He's got an AUG though. Nico just jumping past, trying to find him, and he's seen him now. There's a trade fragger, immediately taken out. Supreme fight with the AUG as well. Nico's made his way through, and the AUG will prevail, and coldzera will prevail. Very happy with that. and that is MIBR back to winning ways, but only Cold survived that round, so the money's going to be tight for MIBR, and FaZe Clan might have a decision to make about this round.
Yeah, that's a really crucial clutch coming in from Cold Zero. The 1 versus 1 against Nico. Not an easy one to win, but he does so. And he looks really good at the moment. This is nice to see such clean kills from Cold Zero. And MIBR, 3 rounds now against FaZe's 1. FaZe onto the pistols in this round. But FaZe perhaps one of the most effective team when it comes to these decos. And they're not able to find too much with his, but there's still 2 more Deagles in play here, Guardian and Nico. And you know Nico is always good for at least 1.
Maybe, I don't know if it depends on what they have in mind at the moment, but Olofmeister with a Glock, he's carrying the bomb. I was going to say maybe there's a world where he goes to, I'm sure there is a world where he goes to pick up the Desert Eagle with time on the clock, but it seems that FaZe have a plan, and that's not part of it, rotating all the way back there. So they will concentrate the forces towards the B bomb site. That's a timely smoke, which allows Taco to just focus on, well, he could choose to focus on people pushing the smoke, but with no one in mid, if he stands there facing the smoke, then he's exposed to the short position, which is why he's not doing that. He's using the cover for that very reason. So if you're wondering at home, that's particularly why. Spatial awareness is why. 5 versus 3. 3 pistoling players for FaZe Clan remaining. Olofmeister moving through to the middle position. Move back with another flashbang, and that's a lot of information. They know the bomb carrier is over here, and Olofmeister, I believe, has been spotted. He has found himself a deagle and a kill, and now the bomb's being planted. What on earth is going on?
Yeah, Rain also on this bomb site now bought so much time by Olofmeister. He was just occupying one of the rotating players from A, and now Rain with that deagle, he's got a chance. I don't know if he understands that he's being wrapped at this point by Fur. To find the next frag, and it's not going to be for Rain. Fur will take it down. So Defuse comes in. However, 3 kills and a bomb plant. That's pretty excellent, James, considering the fact that it kind of felt like they were trapped in the B apartments with no real way out. So that's pretty amazing to see, honestly. So much value. That's why FaZe are so dangerous in rounds such as that. It looks like there's no value here to be had, but sometimes 2 versus 4, they still get another 2 kills and a bomb plant. I just don't understand how they're able to do this at this level.
And here we go. Both teams on the bye. Fallen and Guardian with the AWPs. Guardian lining up a smoke towards CT, I think. If he goes really high, he could go between triple and default. Ooh, really? Okay. Some grenades were flying. Phelps to be flashed off his position. I thought he was going to get a kill there with people just walking through the smoke. Didn't quite happen though. Trying to survive around triple. Rain's being taken out. Bombs on the floor at the moment. Smokes are up, but it's an unusual configuration in that respect. Dren, here's a grenade, hit somebody behind him, but he's going to try and take map control instead. Gambling doesn't quite work out for him, and that leaves Olofmeister now in a 1 versus 4. So it was interesting to see the quick decision, though, from a Dren. I know someone's behind me. I've got to spray through the smoke, but maybe I can have a bigger impact if I just make a play towards jungle. Didn't happen, and Olofmeister is now alone, and he needs to do some damage. He can't just allow 4 people to survive. There we go. That's a good start. Looking for trade fraggers now. Obviously, MIBR will react to that information. Once you know where the last player is, you can take very aggressive positions, and they'll have aggression and trade fragging power around that bomb near that default position. 37 seconds for Olofmeister. Doesn't have enough time really to try and cut all these players down. Now, is he going to save his AK? Is he going to focus on doing economical impacts to the side of MIBR? Seems it will be the latter. 20 seconds, he'll get taken out. 3 survive for MIBR.
And what a wonderful start they're off to. I mean, there's been some bumps in the road, some potholes, but they've been traversing those pretty nicely. And once again, FaZe not in a position where their ability to buy is looking good. I mean, they've got at best here $4,000 on Nico and Adren, but everybody else is struggling a bit. Rain's going to buy up an AK and full Kevlar, so they're going to go for a save round with the 1 AK, which I really like, especially due to the loss bonus that they've accrued. It makes a lot of sense because Rain will still have something in the following round. That's pretty decent to play with. But just having that one AK with a team that has players like Guardian, Optimize, Nico, and so on and so forth on that team, there's a lot of value to be had, and you've got to keep the pressure on the opponent's economy. And as you guys can see on your screen at the bottom right, the money for MIBR is not fantastic. And although the expectation is that they'll likely take this round, FaZe is trying to set themselves up that on the following buy round, should they win it, that MIBR will have to be saving straight away, and they can steal away the momentum and maybe still finish with a very solid score in this first half.
Rain, the hero of the hour. He reminds me of Le Chiffre from Casino Royale, but he's trying to be the good guy for his team. He's got all the chips with that AK-47, and look at first play. Notice his lack of grenades as well. He's only got a HE and a smoke grenade. Great stuff from him. Standard fur. Could be anywhere on the map. 2 kills and he slips away in the dark of the night. Often worth noting, if you're going to make a play through the underpass, you shouldn't be buying full grenades because there's a fair chance you won't get to use them. And Fallen takes the place. Fur becomes bait. Nico gets a fishhook in the mouth. That leaves Rain and Adren. FaZe Clan dismantled by the Brazilians so far in this round. But Rain and Adren still remain. So again, it is the hero AK-47 which is now being lost. Very patient shots from Adren, but maybe feeling like he deserved a frag there. Respected the Deagle, but the Deagle did not respect him. And now with a minute on the clock, he can't expect to try to save this weapon. Trying to take an unusual angle. It won't be enough to stop Fallen. 6-1 MIBR.
Yeah, I feel like Adren was pretty robbed there on the kill onto Phelps. That's really frustrating. All being there, though. And because here comes the push at the beginning of the round from Fur, and no one watching out for this. Fur, though, notorious on Mirage for pushing early in the round, as James mentioned. And you don't never know quite where he's going to be pushing from. That's a nice little flick there from Fallen in the replay. And into the next round we go, and Guardian's on the AWP. So here comes the full buy for FaZe. Let's see if they can make something happen with this. Quick approach into the middle position with the aid of smokes, and a fast timing up catwalk here perhaps from Guardian with the AWP in combination with Rain. He's already on 16 points of health, so this is a pretty aggressive start for FaZe.
Yeah, I think there was a leg from Connector. A leg shot with the AWP of Fallen. Fallen, a man with so many highlights with the AWP. Guardian peeking up high. Beautiful stuff from him. Something to learn for those of you at home. Now Fallen is gone. But look at Fur continuing to be a nuisance, but it's a gamble to go past this spot. And what Adren's doing at the moment is a very common get right. Used to do this a lot as well. Just check towards Palace and T-Ramp at the same time. I feel like maybe there was no sound cues given away by Adren there. Just releasing Crouch as he falls off to not give a sound cue away. Molly towards the sandwich position. And there is Fur once again being a pain, but Phelps has been taken out in the meantime. So Rain has got some weird map control towards A, but he's trying to use it to sell a fake.
See if it works. We've got Cold Zero then on that B-bomb side, and he's having a good game so far. That's one thing we can say for sure. And Taco in that position towards CT spawn looks good to cut off Mr. Rain. Only 16 points of health. Superior angle for Taco, so very easy for him. Cold Zero now. Oh, gets taken out from Nico. Wow, Nico has really saved the day here. Felt like Cold Zero is going on. He's definitely on for the multi-kill there, but Nico coming in from all around the market position diffuses that situation, and there you go. FaZe pick up their second round, and again, you know, we talked about the economy for MIBR, and it's not fantastic. So FaZe are in a decent position to make a comeback here, unless something untoward happens, and you can see Fur already picking up an AK-47. We've already seen, sorry, yeah, so in James, in 7 rounds, we've already seen Fur pushing A-Ramp, Palace, and Underpass.
That's the kind of Fur you want to see. Just no respect for his opponents whatsoever, doing whatever Fur wants to do, and it has been successful at the beginning of this game of Mirage. Now with that AK, he can drop a weapon to the likes of Phelps. He'll keep the AK for himself, of course, to the victor, the spoils. And the rest of the team can buy up for the most part of MIBR, that is. FaZe Clan will have a very good buy. In fact, they both do. We've got double Orgs for Taco and Cold Zero with Fer and an AK-47. In fact, triple augs with Phelps on one as well. So there's a lot going on in this round for MIBR as FaZe Clan moves to top mid.
Yeah, that's deep smoke. Astralis there from the CTs, not deterring FaZe. They'll pop flash through it, which is brilliant to see, not afraid to challenge that smoke and see what's behind it. And that gives them an advantage. And obviously that was a smoke expended early for MIBR. So right now, positionally, FaZe don't look too bad. Still looking to work their way through middle. Fer keeping tabs on that. We're seeing Fer moving around a lot here. Phelps being the anchor of the A-bomb site with the assistance there on stairs from Fallen with the AWP. And now FaZe start to push middle, and they may find some resistance. The smokes have gone. Will there be a pop flash here for Rain to peek connector, perhaps? Maybe not. Go for the dry peeks.
Finally, it was almost like a weird mating dance. Nobody moves. Fallen, how on earth did he manage to get that? We've got a flashbang towards T-Ramp, and FaZe Clan have problems once again. Guardian and Nico remain. Nico jumping into the window. Okay then. Maybe there's life in the old dog yet. Guardian rotating away from the A-bomb site, and that would be a wise decision for the time being. Now, does Nico join him towards B, or does Nico try to continue to sell A? In fact, Fer's pushed the ramp, and I think Nico realizes what that means. He's got an off angle to try and cut off players in connector, going for a short flank, but they don't even have the bomb site just yet. And he moves in and gets moved back out again, leaving Guardian to maybe give a second AWP to the likes of MIBR. So they want it, they do, and there's a second AWP. So that didn't quite work out for FaZe Clan. MIBR in a very strong position now, 7 rounds to the 2 of the FaZe Clan.
What an awkward spot for Nico there. You know that he really wants to assist Guardian on the B-bomb site, but he hesitated because Guardian was a bit too far away for them to attack at the same time. And then he realizes that after spotting someone towards A that, okay, now the CTs know they're on the angle waiting for him to peek. There's no way... He can't just bunny hop around, he's got to take the fight. And now, FaZe are in some trouble. They will respond aggressively here. First going to receive a flashbang. Can he get the kills close? No. Nice entry coming in from Nico. And now Taco will be able to trade him out. And here comes the push out of the apartments. Taco's doing a really good job here. Now down to Cold with this AWP to stop the push from this FaZe team. Just starting to shuffle out the apartments as things slow down. Both teams jockeying for position. Guardian will deny that from Cold Zero, and now things not looking so bad here for FaZe.
Loads of time for the T side in this 2 versus 2. Phelps up on the box, off the box. Dren, awkward timing for him. He heard Phelps jump down, but now what? Where is Fallen in all of this? Guardian wondering himself, spots him towards short now, so they have all the information, FaZe Clan, but now it's Guardian alone. He has 50 seconds though, 5-0, plenty of time. Fallen's rotated again. He's jumped off the short position and made his way towards Market. So if Phelps were to push out of Market solo, then Guardian might not look towards short again. I mean, towards the Market rather. His mind is whirring. Fallen may have rotated. He could be in apartments, could have high ground advantage. And they move out of Market. Misses the first flick, and Phelps will take him out. They can pick up that second AWP again, and they will. 8-2 for MIBR.
Yeah, that was pretty close. Guardian with a solid shot there at the clutch. He's able to connect that flick shot, but Phelps pretty quick as well. And MIBR, they are crushing it after what perhaps was, it could be considered as a disappointing performance on their previous map earlier today on Nuke. Here on Mirage, things are looking very tidy. Winning the clutches, making some good calls, again some good aggressions. And FaZe are starting to struggle a bit. We'll see if they can turn the tide here. They've got the full buy once again. No AWP though for the likes of Guardian. He'll be on the AK with the rest of his team. And we'll see FaZe very interested in this B-bomb site. And this may work out pretty well because the rotation from A is actually looking quite far away. So if FaZe are swift with this one, this is going to be pretty hard to stop.
Flash out the window. Taco has to fall back, making his way towards the balcony position. Great tracking from him to take out Dren as he jumps off the balcony. But he sees more, but he can't do more. Cold Zero and Fallen are by that door position. And there is a smoke. That's a big choke point taken out. And now there are no grenades left for the likes of FaZe Clan. But and they have a man disadvantage. We have a rotation towards short from MIBR, so it will be 2 in market and 2 from that short position if they can make the jump.
Good spot here for FaZe. Guardian waiting to receive the oncoming MIBR players. That's beautiful. Headshots all over the place now going in favor of FaZe. MIBR struggle to get in towards this bomb, and you know what? It looks like it might just be too late. It is pretty far ticked at this point. Phelps is trying to hold his ground for now. He's going to get some more damage done, but it's Nico to do the damage as FaZe pick up their 3rd round, and they're back in it. But MIBR still in a commanding position with those 8 rounds. But their money, not so good.
I think there was a smoke in apartments when the flashbang was originally thrown. But there's a corner of the wall that pokes out, and just to the left of that corner, if you're throwing the flashbang, you're running throw and it bounces out the window, which is really cool because it goes so deep that if somebody was on the van, for example, standing on the van holding an angle, let's say with an AWP, in fact, obviously there was, I think, a smoke on this occasion, but generally speaking, you can throw that flash without showing to somebody on the van. But it goes so deep out of the window that it will blind anybody who's standing on that van as well. So if you have an issue dealing with a sniper on the van, then that is an easy flash to take position over anybody trying to hold that angle. So definitely one to pick up, look at the demo, learn at home. If you want to lurk towards the B bomb site, it most certainly helps. Now we have 4 rounds left in this first half. So FaZe Clan can still fight back for a reasonable scoreline. MIBR are eco at the moment, $2,500 per person, average maybe. 2.5, 26, 2,700. So can't do a whole lot with that. Taco has an MP9. He had an MP9. He's now history. His name has been printed on the tablet. He's been left on the parchment. He is a mere piece of history now, and the rest of MIBR have got pistols, so they may suffer the same fate. Heads rolling down the Aztec stairs. I've got no other comparisons than I've run out of history. Never liked history in school, so there you go.
Well, it's time to turn the page, James, because new rounds here for MIBR, and they're going to have some cash. Some cash to spend. We see the Orcs rolling out already. What else do they have? No money for AWP, unfortunately, and the nades will be a bit lacking. So I can only anticipate that we'll see some aggression, maybe from the likes of Fur. And you've got to be careful with that, though, because teams will be very expectant of seeing such aggressions, and you've already shown them so much. Guardian looks happy. He's having a good start today. He's fragging.
He's a jolly chap.
See if he can continue here. Look at the B presence from FaZe. They really fancy this B approach, and they've got a setup here to deny any underpass aggression. 2-man setup, pushing down. A late take perhaps from Nico. This is an interesting one from FaZe. Not showing any presence really towards the A side of the map. I think they're assuming that MIBR will push because they know their economy is not very good. So they've got this setup that looks like they've given up map control, but really I think it's a bait as well. And it gives them a delayed mid-take as well as an option, which they're going for now. But I think there is a player who could spot this, and so they're ready in the window for any shenanigans. He's missed the shenanigans, James.
They have been sorely missed. Minute mark or less. That's what has passed. 4 versus 5 in favor of MIBR as FaZe Clan move away from the B bomb site. The bomb is being carried towards A. Bomb's not carrying anything itself, just to be clear. Nico waiting on the ramp. Adren around connector, but he's been peeked by Cold Zero in the ladder position. So what can they make of this? Seeing him lurking in that middle area. They may feel more secure now. I'm sure they do with Adren taken out if they have a certain read of FaZe Clan's T side. There's a great frag from Guardian, but he won't last very long. And the trades continue. 15 seconds, this bomb has to get planted. Nico's got enough time to clear CT and hold it for his teammate as the bomb's planted in that direction. Olofmeister, I think, spots 3 on the radar. I think Nico has all the information. Great headshot from Olofmeister, but Nico has more to do.
It is Nico, though, and I don't think they have any idea that he's here. He might have nailed this. Cold Zero, though, he turns away at the wrong moment. Nico now on for the 1 versus 1 Fur. Absolutely knows where he is at this point. Tapping the bomb. Nico hears him running and executes him there with the AK-47. Great work from Nico. I feel like you can't ever doubt him in a situation like that, and he will deliver indeed.
Absolute confidence, not shy to peek. Great visualization from Nico, jump peek, spot where the player is. Got the sound cues for free as well, and he just looks, seeks, and destroys. He is a Terminator. 5 rounds for FaZe Clan. There's always discussion about in-game leading, oh, it's going to affect your game and so on. Doesn't seem to affect Nico too much. It's a pretty consistent fragger for the squad, but who knows, maybe it could be even more if he didn't have that extra burden. We'll never know.
It's definitely one of those interesting talking points, but ultimately it's something where he wants to do it, presumably. And so we must trust his judgment. 4 versus 4 though, with the AK on Fer does make things a little bit scary. Fer though pushing the underpass at this point, so he may be circumvented entirely, as FaZe are looking very ready to push into the A-bomb site, with the bomb of course as well. And Nico sitting in the ladder room, there's all sorts of problems here. But actually, Fer is speeding up his flank. He is the AK. If Fer starts walking at the correct time, which he just started walking, this could be perfect. However, there is someone holding the flank. Adren's there. But if they decide to push the A-bomb side, okay, well, Adren's actually going back. He's got that 6 seconds. Knows Fer is lurking, but the bomb, no, the bomb is down. Fer has a Molotov as well to slow this down. And now Nico's got to rotate. He's got the long rotation. There's not much time here. And with the bomb in control of the CTs, Fer just sitting on top of it. How on earth do you save this situation?
Around the corner he goes. Guardian's made some steps now. Running in, it's going to be absolutely free for Fer. Nico has 27 seconds to find 2 players. There's the first one. Now it's really awkward. He pulls a grenade out, not expecting that peek. But now does he run? Trying to buy some time, maybe Fer with a cheeky peek. 6 HP for Nico thanks to the grenade. He's got to run back. Fade away flashbang, waiting for Fer to peek, and now going for default, playing it safe. 11 seconds, and Fer will rate. Slowly crab walking, watching the right-hand side from Fer's perspective. Walking straight into the crosshairs of Nico. He makes it look easy, but his face looks stressed. But boy, on the server, does he make it look easy.
Yeah, just, you know, casual ace there from Nico in the most horrible situation for FaZe. Somehow saves it again. Again, you can't doubt him, but what an amazing play from Fer. Fer, like, really made that difficult. Honestly, this round, if it's anyone other than Nico, I think they absolutely lose this round. Oh my god, just shooting everyone in the face. Phelps, I think Taco was next on the chopping block there for Nico, but you know, there we go. We're at 6-8, FaZe back in it thanks to his efforts in this matchup so far. Some important clutches won. Now Fer though, he's on catwalk with an AWP. Oh, he connects that.
Yeah, he did. He's trained for this. That's Fer with the sniper rifle. Moving back, he's got plenty of support, but the sound cues are there for the player who's in apartments for FaZe Clan. It's olofmeister. You'll hear that the sniper has fallen back. The decoy grenades in the apartments, and olofmeister has heard this scope. He knows somebody is scoped in, but he doesn't know what kind of angle it is, so it is somewhat scary for him to peek. It could be a deeper angle from Fer, but if someone baits him, oh, look at FaZe Clan moving in. If somebody jumps past this position, and olofmeister is going to strike immediately. Everybody knows this angle. He's not even going to wait for that. Just going to peek, and off they go, exploding into the B bomb site, but Cold Zero's here. He's dead now, of course.
Yeah, great peek from Rain. Just shuts that one down. Nips it in the bud. Fallen and Phelps left to try to rotate in, and honestly, with the amount of utility left on FaZe, I don't think there is going to be a door open to get into the bomb site. Fallen though, he's going to be kicking down the door. Nades coming in from all over the place. Still a couple Molotovs left here for MIBR. Sorry, for FaZe. It's so favorable, but Fallen's made his way onto the bomb site. But perhaps that is by design. Or maybe not. Fallen catching Rain off guard by the catwalk position. The Molotov comes in to guarantee this, perhaps, as Phelps picks up one. This is looking very difficult for FaZe to hold on to. Of course, they'll make it work in the end regardless, but a bit scary. See, they're on fire. There's a nice comeback. 5 rounds in a row at the end of the first half. And FaZe are well back in this one. And it's after that dominant showing from MIBR, it's really looking like it could go either way.
Can see Launders' peroxide hair on the stage. There he is. Maximum contrast for Launders. There with Monsieur Scrawny. Nice to see them again. He's wearing boxer slippers.
Yeah, that's they're nice. I want some.
I can't even remember what I wear at home.
Shoes?
I'm just not.
You got like 60 pairs.
I don't wear
buttons,
shoes in home.
so-
Then all the carpets would be absolutely battered. So the two teams will swap sides. I can't wait to see this fill up with North Americans tomorrow and others. There's always a travelling circus as well, so it'll be very interesting to see. Lots of Portuguese and Spanish being spoken here. I was playing football yesterday almost entirely with people from Latin America. I think there was like one white dude there, and the rest of them were just Latin Americans. It was funny. Lots of skill, lots of dribbling, lots of solo. When once a player had gone past one or two players, solo. It was really fun to watch. Hopefully I can play again soon. I wrecked my ankle again, but enough about me. We've got MIBR on the T side. They've got 2 players with utility, Olaf Meister and Adren for FaZe Clan. We've got a short break before we continue, but we'll talk through it because we love talking, Dan, don't we?
Well, so you can see Astralis, well, Navi are playing Astralis on Inferno, right? And we looked at the stats earlier, and I'm sure they said them on the desk, but I think it was 19 Infernos or 16. It's either 16 or 19 Infernos in a row, one in the top tier for Astralis. That's quite a streak, James. No one has been able to touch them there.
Yeah, that's a Undertaker level streak. Maybe we call him the Undertaker from now on. Although I love the Clutch Minister, Zipex. That is such a fantastic.
The Undertaker isn't the Undertaker like Simple's nickname though, technically.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And I do like
I guess
that.
We can't,
I like it for Simple.
yeah,
like
it is.
bodying
It is
people.
good.
Yeah. It fits.
That is pretty good.
We've got some good ones, but then there's that like fallen one, like the Bad Librarian, which I'm not sure if I'm into as much.
You don't hear that very often.
No.
At least you
Maybe
got
it's
the Bad Fallen, but
it's not that catchy, I suppose.
yeah. I don't know.
Fallen.
Do you have a nickname in CS?
Deagle King James.
Deadly Deagle
Deadly
King.
Deagle King.
Yeah.
Thanks to Henry G for that one. Light
Henry
show.
G and his bloody nicknames.
Yeah, he's good at that, isn't he?
Unfortunately.
He's good at
They
making
tend to
stuff
stick.
stick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good at making all sorts of things stick.
Yeah, that's no good. All right. Who do you fancy for this one, Dan?
It's interesting. I mean, firstly, I want to throw the shout outs to Fur. Obviously, Fur gets put into a position where he's the guy taking aggressions, and if he's playing well, though, we see this situation where he's fragging really well. Like he's top fragging for his team. He's 17 for 9. That's not bad at all, considering how aggressive he was. And that's something that MIBR need. And moving into the CT side, I do favor FaZe for this game still, although it is obviously very close at this point. Once Guardian gets onto the AWP, it's going to be very interesting indeed. And we'll see MIBR now in this pistol, looking to control middle, get the smoke there on window, perhaps looking to rush towards the short position. They will be spreading out somewhat here, 2 on short, 2 towards connector.
Smoke has failed though. So Guardian can see that the bomb hasn't quite crossed the short just yet. It's actually making its way into the A bomb site. So one player's made his way in towards B, but A is what will be taken. And FaZe kind of been pulled out of position. Adren's had to fall back to CT spawn. Phelps in jungle as well. MIBR has got strong positions, although they're made weaker by a huge headshot from Nico. And another one by Adren. The problems are being compounded. They're moving into a black hole. They do exist.
Well, Fallen Coldzera left to try to stop this, and Nico looks like he's already on a tear. Such an exposed position for Coldzera. It's difficult to defend, and there's no one to trade for Fallen, so that's going to be a wrap. Nico with 3 headshots, or 3 kills. I'm not sure the last one's headshot, but looking very good himself. 19 for 10, and that is the start that FaZe really wanted, of course. Looking to get the AWP as quickly as possible onto Mr. Guardian. However, we do get a force buy after the bomb plant from MIBR, and this looks really scary. Honestly, they have better firepower than more or less than FaZe, and FaZe won the round. So that's a scary prospect. Couple AKs, Galil, Scout, Deagle. That's scary. They're going for a fast contact play, I think, in towards the A bomb site as well. Forced to slow down though because of the Molotov set by the CTs. The Dread blast in, and now the full information gets the kill and gets away and gets the smoke down. That's perfect for FaZe.
Very, very tidy stuff. The road to recovery might be hard for MIBR, but could get easier if FaZe are not careful with their peaks. Of course, we have a kill from Taco with the Desert Eagle. Oh, and there's another one! And that's the weapon that he can collect on this occasion with the push through Palace. 3 versus 3. Now MIBR will concentrate their efforts, their forces towards the A bomb site, but Dren could cut Taco to ribbons at the very least because he's got no Kevlar, but he looks the wrong way at the wrong time with Dren, and this round continues to get worse and worse for FaZe Clan.
Yes, yes, it started off so well, but credit to the resilience here for MIBR. They really grinded it out, found an advantage, and Flashbang and an HE left for FaZe for this retake. Wolfmeister playing with a gap here. Oh, that is fantastic. The bomb falling on the ground as well. With 40 seconds left, that's not a huge problem, but now it pulls another player out of position. Cold Zero, no less. He's got 23 points of health. Didn't want to be creeping out there. You can see the problems that it causes. Now just down to Taco with the Deagle. And Olofmeister, what a key kill there in the 2 versus 3. And that's going to be the round for FaZe. They will save it in the end. They've diffused the situation of MIBR's force buy, now forcing MIBR to go for a full save. And FaZe can really start to get their economy going. They can start to get their momentum going on this CT side.
Taco with these Desert Eagles. Boy, did he make it expensive. FaZe Clan ultimately clean up. But maybe that damage from Taco can be capitalized on in the rounds to come, although this one's unlikely, as it is pistols again for MIBR. FaZe Clan 1 round in the lead, still on fire, no extinguishers in sight. Sorry, just fell out of my chair, as one does. Anyway. And back in the room. Taco and Phelps left, and now it's Taco with the daggers. Shadow daggers. The ninja. Little ninja knives. I used to, there used to be a kung fu store in Carnaby Street in London, and I used to buy samurai swords and things and sais and various items for display. Never saw those before though, or noticed them, but anyway. 10-8. MIBR, it's your move, you're back on the buy. Seeing some action here from Nico. All over mid and the A-bomb side. So there's no AWPs, no scopes at all in this particular round. AKs are plenty, however, and MIBR take mid early.
Yeah, and it's looking somewhat like a default from them. Just looking for map control across the map, presence everywhere. And FaZe are playing it pretty chill at this point. They will push Adren down the A ramp, and Nico with an aggressive play into the Palace position there. It's going to set FaZe up nicely. The shadow position there is a really strong angle. It's difficult to deal with this, even if you know a player's there, because you just give the shadow away, unless you try to drop, but then you drop and you have falling inaccuracy. So it's kind of just a difficult position to deal with in general, even if you know a player's there. Either way, MIBR's response will be to activate the players in middle. See Fur making his way there with the pop flash in towards connector position. Nice one there from Phelps, and they will clear connector. So they have that bit of map control at least to work from. And Fur goes straight back out, and it's looking like they're going to take the one towards B here, this B split. And you can see with that incendiary, FaZe already have a good read on this. They seem ready.
I love B splits. I feel like for the longest time on Mirage, we just didn't see them enough. Now this obviously invites a boost, and Rain is waiting for it. Cold Zero, does he realize that he could be compromised by this? That this is the obvious, the logical thing to do. If you consider that your opponent could have a good read as to your intentions, then maybe this is a mistake. But he will edge forwards. Fall off, and there's a sound. Huge free frag for Rain, second follow-up as well. But the bomb is still in possession of MIBR. But it's a 2 versus 5. What can you realistically expect in this situation? And the time's about to run out, and we've got Phelps stuck in a ladder room, forced out of a Molotov. He'll die just after time, I do believe. And that's going to keep him poor, broke. $100 for Phelps. Can you buy anything for $100?
Decoy.
Decoy. He could be... He could not be, but he could buy a decoy. Maybe 2. Can you buy 2 decoys?
No, well, I don't think you can. But I mean, he will have to just be a decoy as well.
Wow. I mean, he has a Glock. You can kill with a Glock, Dan.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. But I mean, if he runs wide on a push, then he's technically a decoy, essentially, right? He's like one of those rubber fish to bait like sharks when you're doing research or something.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. It's I gotta say, you know, I like some of the stuff there from MIBR, but it was kind of a little bit late, and you can see how comfortable FaZe were. after they got that pick, they read the map control really, really well. They understood exactly what MIBR were doing. They delayed them so much with the Molotov, then the smoke came in, and then there was that boost, and it was MIBR understood they couldn't quite push it quickly enough to really make a difference. So they were just in the palm of FaZe's hand the whole time. So FaZe doing really well on the CT side so far. Looking to get that mid push on. Nico, he's hungry, but he's a bit blind as well. And it looks like he will not be fed in this round. And Rain locking it down in the B apartments. Looked a little bit scary for a second there.
Ooh, that's a nice shot from Fallen. Wondered if he might get some free fire with the rifle. And FaZe continue to burn. Branding Iron is out for FaZe Clan, looking for the asses of MIBR, and they might find them soon because they're only 4 rounds away from victory.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Like, momentum is truly in their favor at this point. Rain there dealing with the apartments push very nicely, and of course it was a save round for MIBR, but perhaps the real Counter-Strike starts now in the second half. MIBR will have, the fullest of money, but so will FaZe. We'll see a fast take up mid here, which is running through the smoke. coldzera very, very fast. He's going to run into Nico very shortly, though, as Nico will be around this position. Rain as well. Oh, actually, Nico's in the underpass. My mistake. And Phelps, he's going to find himself Rain. So difficulties here now in the early rounds for FaZe. coldzera with this position in the ladder room. Applies a lot of pressure to this defense.
Look at Olofmeister, he's pushed through apps. FaZe Clan basically have all the information already, or almost all of it. coldzera's position will be very important now. Does he hear this rotation from Nico? He probably does, but there isn't really a spot for MIBR to do much more unless coldzera can get something done. That is a very key smoke, but Nico may not expect that coldzera could see over the smoke. Now, as coldzera makes a play into the window, he could do something, but Olofmeister looking for 2. There's Fallen about to turn around, so he's got to take him out. And now what do you do if you're MIBR? 2 players remain, Fur and Taco. Again, great timing on the apps push from FaZe Clan. It gave them so much information, and now Fur just stands there again. From this point, he could be shot in the foot if you had an AWP. And FaZe Clan continue to burn bright, like the brightest star in the sky.
What a beautiful game of Counter-Strike from them so far. As you said, James, such a strong reaction. They lose something, and so they take a risk. And what a fantastic response it ended up being. Olofmeister knowing how to play it perfectly as well. Tried to lock down the round initially by seeing how many he could see before he was detected. And then after he gets the first kill, he understands that all he has to do is just hold his position in a safe spot and just create the threat of the flank. And MIBR, they're being consistently outplayed here so far in this second half. And their money is kind of terrible. They need to give FaZe the 14th round effectively. It's not a great spot to find yourself. And we'll see Phelps be donated the single AK. Let's see what he can do with it. Oh, are they actually going to go for the full force here? How much are they spending?
He spent 3,700. So
okay.
Armor and AK for Phelps. He has a spawn as well. He could go towards mid. He could try and make a play towards B apartments with it as well, but that might be more likely with an AWP. Let's see where he goes. He could go underpass. So yeah, he goes towards the underpass position. So you might see some snipers make a play towards B apartments with a forward spawn like an Alu or a JDM. They like to take that peek. Somebody jump peeks, you can take him out. If somebody tries to jump on the van, then they won't have fantastic timing. But anyway, it's important for MIBR to stay alive, pick up weapons, storm a site once the FaZe Clan side are weaker. Those are their goals for this round. They have 1 flash on Fur. Who knows where that might go? And Phelps already in the window, 1:13, and it seems that FaZe Clan may not have been expecting that just yet. Now he could throw a weapon out the window if he feels safe enough to do so. coldzera taken out in the meantime. And now Phelps has made his way towards short, so I don't know if he's given that weapon to his teammate, but he's got another frag out of it. Olofmeister looking for more. Big frag from him. We've got players on the B bomb site. He can't fall back. And now it's Guardian and Adren versus 2. Guardian spots one cross to the bench. An important angle to have on the retake, and important information as well.
This is pretty difficult for Guardian. You can see that he's staying scoped in here. Well, as I say that, he will rattle off a shot, and he's just trying to buy some distraction here now for Adren to come in from the apartments with the attention on Guardian. Oh my god, the timing there from Guardian, it couldn't have been better. And this is working out phenomenally well now. Fallen trying to wrap around with the CZ, he's got no bullets left. And Adren's going to take him down, and FaZe will pick up the 14th round in the end, but it was somewhat scary. Damage done by MIBR, but how much will it matter? The money overall for FaZe, everyone's rocking 10k and above pretty much. So that's not really going to account for much as far as the economic damage is concerned, but at least they get a bomb plant. That will help MIBR in having a better buy in this following round.
Nerd facts, those shots on that wooden panel aren't just running distraction, but you can shoot through that both ways along the side of those crates. So if you're on a T side and you think a CT is peeking from the window, then you can spray them down through that. Of course, you can be shot as well, but it is a thing. It is a thin piece of wood. Great timing for Fallen. That's exactly what they needed. 6 rounds behind. You could see his frustration towards the end of the previous round. It's been a long string of bad results for both of these teams, and neither can really afford another one so quickly.
Flashes over the top, and Nico on the bomb site with the M4. This will be very tough. Guardian is isolated behind those smokes, but speaking of smokes, Nico goes up and above one, finds up a kill, can't defend against Taco. They're swinging through the Palace position, and this is looking very good. Guardian taking massive damage from grenades. Olafmeister will be able to be the only player to find something here for FaZe as it goes down 2 versus 3, but the bomb is down still, yet to be planted, which does give some time at least for FaZe.
There is a flank. I don't know if he has an angle for Guardian. He doesn't.
Oh, it's not broken though.
Yeah, Guardian knows this. He looked at it earlier. So as long as he's not exposed to it, then it gives him some confidence. He's got his teammate Olafmeister in the middle position as well, so we need not focus on that. We've still got jump peeking going on towards Palace, so where are the other 2 players? That is the question for FaZe Clan as they start to approach this A bomb site. Now, if they get too deep, I'm sure that Fer will pop the vents at the back. But he hasn't just yet, as far as I can tell. Guardian taken out, and that's the end of the round, basically. The vent is popped, but Cold Zero will pop another head, and there are 9 rounds for MIBR now. FaZe still on 14. Adren's got $12,000. They'll have no issues buying in this particular round, FaZe Clan, but 5 rounds at this point isn't that much as if you're FaZe Clan. You don't consider this is fine. These aren't free rounds or free attempts with more buy rounds to come. This is dangerous waters already. You don't want a team like MIBR building momentum, because once they get to 14, they're probably going beyond that.
Yeah, but that was the first success so far that we have seen for MIBR in this T side. And this side they'll take a very different approach. It's walking towards the B apartments, trying to get as deep as they can. Taco pushing very quickly now, straight out the window. Flashbang to assist his forward position. Nice entry kill coming in, and he's going to really make things a lot easier here for MIBR. It does get traded out, but now Rain's in a horrible position. Players wrapping him. Phelps gets the kill, and a 3 versus 4 retake onto the B bomb site. That is not a good look here for FaZe. Do they go for this? Their money was very good, but I don't know if it's going to be good if after this round. In fact, yeah, they can't afford to lose this AWP at all. Guardian will hightail it out of there, and all of a sudden, the momentum of which you just spoke might be the reality. It's a nice shot from Guardian as he plays defensively, and it's going to be tough for him to survive here. They are hunting him, but he's passing every test so far.
Spotting another one. At this point, do you run towards bomb site? Doesn't matter, because Phelps will deliver the headshot, and now the deficit is reduced to 4. The money is a mixed bag for FaZe Clan. It's less than ideal for Nico and Rain, with 2,700 average between them. So I think this might be Nico round for FaZe Clan, unless they feel like they could get some kind of extra buy out of this, but I do not believe that will be the case. We have some Desert Eagles being purchased by the team, but I think there's a very fair chance that MIBR will make it to 11 rounds. That said, 4 Desert Eagles on FaZe Clan. This is nothing to shake a stick at. This is serious. They're very
really
capable
is.
with them.
You can maneuver them so quickly as well. So if it's the case that they start off with the first kill, which in this case they don't, it does get very dangerous very quickly. But again, the numbers are important, and the more players you lose, the more space on the map that the MIBR team will have, and that's exactly what's happening. They've carved out a nice bit of map control towards the A-bomb side, and they're locking it down, and there's no way really now for the Deagles to get in. So, looks like it's all under control here for MIBR to pick up their 11th round.
Yeah, there it is. Everybody surviving for MIBR, so let's see what kind of buy FaZe Clan will have. About 5,000 per person for the likes of FaZe Clan, around 26. Now, can they get back to winning ways? Or, again, I was alluding to the momentum factor for MIBR. I think it can be strong. Will it be strong today? This will be the first test. If they lose this round, MIBR, they'll all have the money to buy again in the next round. So at least there's that, some space for relief. But it would be match point for FaZe Clan. They will not want to lose any more. Loads of flashes going towards top mid. Doms trying to fight for something. And this push up mid continues for FaZe Clan. They've got that smoke very deep indeed. The Molotov to behind the box. They know that part is clear. And this is really going to waste some time for MIBR. Or will it? We've got coldzera. He's out on the Tetris position. They seem like Taco wants to make a play through the smoke there. But look at the rotation from FaZe Clan. 3 players on the A site and they're getting wiped out. They're getting deleted one by one.
This is going to be very difficult. Nico though steps up to the plate to try to deliver, and he gets bat out immediately. Guardian Olafmeister from Ticket. There's always a chance, especially now the smoke's gone. There's no smoke to replenish that. Oh, there's actually one smoke to replenish on the Ticket position. It's in the hands of Taco, but will he understand to throw it towards CT or not? And you can see MIBR just sitting on the fact that they have so much time in this round. Maybe FaZe will make a mistake. Maybe someone will overextend. But in fact, Guardian finds an excellent timing, and he's going to be able to get some space himself towards the A-bomb side. Moving towards triple now. And now Olafmeister wins to find CT. It's all going a bit sideways here for MIBR, but now just down to Olafmeister as he pushes forwards, looking to see if he can make this even worse for MIBR. But coldzera comes in close. And that's going to be the round. 12 for MIBR. A mere 2 away now from equalizing. What's happening?
Just like that. Not too far away, is it? Every other round for FaZe Clan is an eco round. If they're buying and losing everything on the CT side, you don't get that bomb plant bonus with CTs when you lose the round. You know, that 4,200 will keep a T side in business when they're at max loss bonus, but the same cannot necessarily be said for a defensive side. So it will be the Desert Eagles once again, and maybe they'll have some more success. Oh, look, oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it? He's literally spreading butter on toast knife and just covering all of it at once. But Fallen, with a little jiggling, a little jumping around, will take Nico out. That's a very big frag, and it takes the AK away from FaZe Clan as well.
You can see that that's like a rare spot where Nico wasn't actually ready as well. I think for the second player, he looks he was just picking up the AK. His crosshair placement wasn't as on point as it normally would be, and I think he will be very frustrated with not getting that kill. But Fallen, he might be in some trouble here. Doesn't expect the player on around the side, and this is looking pretty bad now for MIBR. They've got to pick up the bomb. You can see Fels going to grab that, and the only options now are towards the A-bomb side. They have to ask so many questions at the B apartments.
Yeah, they know that there are 2 players in B app, so they are worst case scenario 3v2 on the A bomb site if they move fast enough, and they are heading in the right direction. 2 players going towards connector. They've got some smoke grenades as well. They could go for a rudimentary smoke towards jungle, try and isolate the position. There is one from the palace area now. Maybe they drop the other one in connector to plant the bomb. Guardian just charging straight through, no respect style, but it won't quite work out for him. Gambles were taken, and they failed. Olafmeister and Rain remain, and just maybe they could do with saving these weapons to give them something extra in the dying rounds of this match today. 27 looking pretty good for MIBR, but what will round 28 bring?
Yeah, I thought FaZe was actually going to save this one. Olafmeister looking to make it a little bit painful though as he dies, but I don't know that he expects coldzera in mid. I think that it was pretty fortunate that he decided to pull away there. And looking pretty good to save this AWP. coldzera looking hunted though. Olafmeister just chill out in the kitchen. And he will be absolutely fine. And there you see it, MIBR 5 rounds in a row, they are on fire. But FaZe, again, they do say that open to the next round, it's always very nice. Big buy coming in. Let's not forget that that last round was very close, but look at what we have there, just Eagles, just that's all they had. No Kevlar, no utility, nothing. They almost won the round. Almost, but not quite.
Indeed. Well, we have Olofmeister and Guardian now with the AWPs. This is a change, but will it be that change that they need? What are they expecting from MIBR, which would make this the solution? Olofmeister or Nico could pick up the AWP. I used to feel like 4 of the 5 players were known for their AWP skills. Not to say that the others can't AWP, but they are not the first names which come to mind, for sure, in my opinion. We have the AWP on Fallen as well. So 3 sniper rifles on the map, and I don't know how MIBR could possibly read into this unless this is some kind of panic button that FaZe can throw in on regular occurrence. Fallen looking for something. Ooh, we have a push attempt on the CT side once again. Not the first time he's got that pick in this game so far.
Yeah, it's a bit dangerous, and Adren's in a great position to do some damage. Decides to drop the smoke. Conservative play, but it makes a lot of sense, and will hopefully for him buy some time for his teammates to get into position. And you can see that this really shuts down. Look how much utility, how many smokes, you see on your minimap, how many smokes were thrown onto the A bomb site by MIBR. They wanted to go through, but when they saw that close range smoke, they didn't really have the ability to push through it. Now we can see that as far as MIBR are concerned, things get kind of tough because you've got a minute left. You couldn't execute the original plan in the round. You've left yourself with no smokes now. They've got no smokes. They really intended to hit the A bomb site there. They called it off. So now they have to play the mid round, James, and it's going to be a bit awkward.
45 seconds remain. MIBR not shy for a late round, as we all know. Sometimes they go good, sometimes they go disastrously. Phelps moving towards that ladder position, maybe cutting off some rotation. Keeping an eye on things, keeping people honest, as there are no sound cues at this point for FaZe Clan, and they don't have the most forward position. That's the bomb, that's all the information you need. Get that rotation going. There's no time to go towards the big bomb site, so they can start streaming, and the flash is there as well. There will be trades, and maybe there's a chance for the bomb to get planted. Do you want to fight Adren? Trying to buy time. There's nobody in CT. Adren's on the ramp, but he may just get a frag immediately, and that will be that. Finally, FaZe make it to their match point after a string of rounds from MIBR. But will it be enough for FaZe Clan? Can they convert this into a match win with the next round?
That was so close. Nico's timing was so perfect to spot the first player, to go for that peek. I think, he heard they were running. I think that was part of it. And I think at that point as well, if looking at the positioning for FaZe, they didn't really know what was going on in that round. So that could have gone either way. But fortunately for FaZe, they make it to 15 rounds, one more to close down this match. And as you said before, James, both teams would have had, or felt like they both had, not a great opening so far to Blast Pro Series, with their first maps really not going very well. And this would really help to set the tone, to correct things going out of day one. And it looks like FaZe are poised to make this a positive storyline for them.
We shall see. No more, I was going to say no more AKs, but Rain has one on the CT side, always worth looking at. Nico on the cusp of a 30 bomb, standard stuff for him. Phelps 25 kills as well on the Brazilian side, and it's a good average of kills for the most part. Adren's slightly behind on his side, but for MIBR, everybody's turned out for sure. A fast take of mid once again, Guardian having a look top mid. Not taking a shot though, even though he was blind. Sometimes you just have a feeling for things and you have it go anyway, but maybe not wanting to reveal his position or outstay his non-welcome. He'll fall back. Now we've got the bomb moving out towards top mid. 4 players in mid, it seems, in total for MIBR in this this round. They need 2 from 2 to take this, well, to take it to 15-15. You see Nico looking for a boost. That Molotov not quite hitting the mark. Is that a pre-fire from him? He's Guys, so familiar with each other. That was a huge shot, and Fur's on 11 HP.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough for Fur. Oh my god, the EG. Oh my days. Down to 2 HP now. That was not a bad follow-up. Almost got there, but it's fallen to take the first kill. Guardian going down, and Middle is well and truly in control of MIBR, but Nico still finds ways to get damage done, and that's really important because they've given up Middle, and you can see it on the mini-map. FaZe don't have any vision of anything at this point. They can see B apartments, and just barely the A bomb site, which gives MIBR all the options to pressure B, and now they're going towards A. But for FaZe, like, what does it mean? What does this pressure mean? It's hard to know, and they'll find out soon enough, but there's 20 seconds to go, and this boost could be astronomically important. We'll see if Adren can find anything, but no, they'll go for the plant towards the other side of triple, and Fel will get another kill. So now things start to get real sweaty for FaZe.
Holding down the short position, Olofmeister is taking out post plant. And have FaZe Clan been outmaneuvered, it seems that they might be trying to win it in normal time. They will take the conservative route and move away from the A bomb site on this occasion. MIBR have prevailed. Difficult for both teams, but it's FaZe Clan with the first match point. And they've got one more crack at the whip. Nico holding onto his weapon. That might be the 30 bomb now. He's wiping out these players. They won't have any issue buying in the next round though, but there are some nice stats for Nico now. Surely with that 4K, he is beyond. There we go, 32 kills for him. Phelps still on 25, but will all of these kills yield a result in normal time for the likes of FaZe Clan and Nico?
Just such great crosshair placements. So look at this as he goes through. He's just aiming. He's just aiming for the corner. It's like perfect. The movement is so good. Nico is such a, mechanically, such a clean player to watch. Either way, into the last round. And both teams on the full buy. That's what you like to see. Going right down to the wire here. FaZe being the recipient of a lot of aggression from the A ramp position. You can see they're playing that close setup, but in reality, we see the B push. Rain from far away with the spray, looking quite good from the pillar position as Olofmeister scopes up, and MIBR, they're stuck in the mud at the moment. They have to find a way to push forwards to get this bomb planted before the rotation comes in. It's down to Olofmeister to stop this, and this is going to be awkward with the AWP. He has to pull out the Deagle, but there goes Ball and there goes Fur, and it is looking very difficult indeed.
MIBR, man advantage for now. The bomb needs to get planted, however. Guardian creating some space. I don't know if he can realistically make it through this window. No, look at that gap. That gap is enormous. Again, just waiting for a rotation, waiting for an opportunity. There it is. There he goes, Guardian. Leaving Adren now. 1 versus 3 to stop this match from being a draw. And there it is, a double peak from MIBR. And indeed, they just about scraped the comeback. So it will be 15-15 at the end when all is said and done.
Wow, I really thought that that when we hit that CT side, it was going to be all FaZe, and it was for quite some time. It was 7 rounds in a row on that, just unanswered 7 rounds in a row for FaZe. Then all of a sudden, MIBR, they wake up on that T side. Nothing was working. Then they start to really get everything going. And now that was really impressive. Again, considering how the match had been going for them up until that point, it was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was a dramatic turnaround towards the end. 7 of 8 rounds for MIBR towards the end. Again, momentum, that's absolutely crazy. And it's got to be frustrating for Nico. 32 frags for him and still not a W. Remember, I mean, you can think of like performances from Simple in the past. Obviously, Navi doing a lot better, and maybe they've swapped roles in some respects. FaZe now just having some difficulty. I mean, both these teams are in fairness and they've drawn against each other, so I don't know if either side will be satisfied. I mean, maybe the way the beginning of the second half went, MIBR will be like, okay, this is cool, but going into this, I'm sure they really both wanted a W quite badly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely bittersweet in many senses. I think for me, there's a lot of positive takeaways. I think the individuals on both teams look pretty sharp. I think, to see Fur getting to do, his aggressive shenanigans, to see it working, to see him confident, making that style work. I think is really cool to see.
Yeah.
Also because one of the reasons why I think he kind of tapered off after a while, you know, after there was such dominance from that initial Brazilian core in the SK days where he was incredibly effective, it's because people kind of figured out. It's like, because at that point, SK were innovating constantly. They were setting new standards.
Welcome to Blast Pro Series. It's going to be another tremendous day of Counter-Strike.
6 teams, it's quality over quantity, and everyone seems to be on their game. That's over! Oh, dash!
Your explaining days are over. Because you are sportsmen.
That is what champions are made of.
Seems like the fans are ready. Are you guys ready? Wow! It's time for the final ingredients. Let's get the teams out here.
You have to bring your absolute best.
Let's get into the action.
To win this may actually be a harder mental task than winning the major.
It's another duel for Zipex. There it is, the kills.
Oh my God!
These guys are the best in the world. When you put 5 of them into a server, they're gonna make some magic happen, right?
Another outrageous round between these two teams. Which team do you want to face in a standoff and battle for $20,000?
Get to the spot. Oh, very nice there from Forrest.